After being betrayed, I had a flash marriage with a powerful tycoon. How about we get married? Unexpectedly, the husband I got by chance turned out to be my new boss. Boss Lu said that he didn't like to talk about personal affairs. In the company, business is handled impartially, and women will only affect the speed of making money. Later, looking at the increasing number of flowers and snacks from unknown sources on his wife's desk, Boss Lu finally couldn't stand it anymore. Miss Ning, you are a married woman, why don't you wear a wedding ring? Ning Yixia rolled her eyes. Who said that relationships can't be made public in the company? Chapter 1. How about a marriage? It was getting close to evening, in the Civil Affairs Bureau in the north of Auchan. Seeing that the comrades from the Civil Affairs Bureau were about to get off work, Ji Yuxian had not yet appeared, and his phone was turned off. At this time, the TV screen on the wall was just interrupted by entertainment news. Supermodel Lin Momo accidentally fell into the water and was injured and hospitalized. Ning Yixia's starry eyes froze, and then she called Xu Hui, Ji Yuxian's assistant. Xu Hui on the other end answered the phone carefully. Miss Ning. Where is Ji Yuxian? Miss Ning. Mr. Ji is very busy, Let him answer the phone. The engagement with Ji Yuxian was made when she was a teenager. Now that her grandfather is seriously ill, she just wants to see Ning Yixia and Ji Yuxian get married soon, so the marriage is on the agenda. Originally, they agreed to get the marriage certificate in the next few days, but Ji Yuxian stood her up again and again. Xu Hui hesitated, and at this time, the phone was picked up, and Ji Yuxian's voice came. Yixia, I have something to do. Let's talk about our business in 2 days. Ning Yixia's eyes darkened. Ji Yuxian, it was you who asked me to come to the Civil Affairs Bureau. You stood me up again and again. Are you using me to make fun of me? Ji Yuxian paused, turned his head to look at Lin Momo, who was pale on the bed, and walked to the balcony, and then lowered his voice. Okay, listen, I'm a little busy these 2 days, and we'll talk about our business in 2 days. Wait 2 days, be good. Ning Yixia's face was sneered with irony, and she suddenly clenched the phone. Ji Yuxian, I don't want to listen to your nonsense, I just want to ask you, can you come and get the certificate with me today? Yixia, I said, I'm out now and can't get back, why are you so aggressive? Ji Yuxian was also a little anxious and his face flushed slightly. Ning Yixia sneered. Am I being aggressive or are you treating me like a fool? You're with Lin Momo now, right? Seeing that he couldn't hide it, Ji Yuxian's handsome face turned pale, and the next moment he said coldly, since you know, why bother asking? Momo is injured, She's injured and can still ask you, her future brother-in-law, Ji Yuxian, you want to live with her, right? Ning Yixia directly pulled off the fig leaf. Ning Yixia. What nonsense are you talking about? We've known each other for so many years, I really didn't know you were so petty and suspicious and jealous. Ji Yuxian seemed to be stepped on a sore spot, and he was a little angry and embarrassed. Ning Yixia was really angry and laughed. Ji Yuxian, are you blind? I have never concealed the depth of my conflict with her. I have one last question for you. Can you get this marriage certificate with me today? You are totally unreasonable and have lost your mind. Let's calm down for a few days and talk about it in 2 days. No need. Just like that, let's break up. Ning Yixia took a deep breath, tried to suppress the undercurrent in her heart, and hung up the phone tiredly. That's enough. She was really tired after being in this relationship for a long time. She would not keep those who abandoned her and disturbed her heart. Ning Yixia had just hung up the phone when the WeChat video on her phone rang. She opened it and saw that it was Lin Momo. Lin Momo on the screen was wearing a hospital gown, but she was wearing Ji Yuxian's suit jacket on her shoulders. She was holding the thermos cup that Ji Yuxian usually used, and there was a smile on her charming face. The reason why Ning Yixia could recognize them at a glance was naturally because she bought them for Ji Yuxian. Lin Momo blew on the thermos cup, drank a sip of water, and then a smug smile flashed across her eyes. She said disdainfully to Ning Yixia on the other side of the video, how is it? My sister? I said that as long as I want it, there is nothing I can't get. Have you admitted defeat? Aren't you very capable? Why are you like a waste now, unable to keep anything, even men? The provocative words were naturally very harsh in Ning Yixia's ears. Lin Momo, you are really disgusting. Disgusting? Then I, a disgusting person, can easily make the man you like fall at your feet. Don't you think you are disgusting enough to want to end your life? Just like your noble mother. Lin Momo never hesitates to expose her vicious appearance in front of Ning Yixia, and every word is stepping on Ning Yixia's pain. As expected, Ning Yixia's cold and stunning face was as dark as ink at this time. You, Lin Momo, are really a top grade for being so cheap. He is just a man. If you want him, I will give him to you. Do you really think I can't marry him, Ji Yuzian? Har, Ning Yixia, you still can't change your stubborn and cheap look. If you don't care, why don't you ask Grandpa to cancel the engagement with the Gu family? Are you willing to do it? Aren't you still eager to throw yourself at Ji Yuzian? It's a pity that even if you try your best, you can't achieve your goal. Do you really think that the Gu family really wants to marry you? When Lin Momo said this, Ning Yixia's eyes darkened. Lin Momo smiled contemptuously. Do you think you are worthy of the Gu family? A person who has been to the detention center and has a criminal record, no matter how well he dresses up, he can't erase the past shame. You are shameless, but others still have face. The saying that a toad wants to eat swan meat is really reflected in you. Ning Yixia's eyes suddenly became cold. Although she knew that it was Lin Momo who provoked her, these were undoubtedly her pain points. Lin Momo, why do I bear this? You know better than anyone else. So, what can you do? They just don't want to believe you. Do you think you will fail? No, sister, listen to me. Brother Xian just came to see me. Don't be angry. Ning Yixia saw Ji Xian walking in from the door in the video, and she was too lazy to watch the performance of this little white flower, so she hung up the video directly. And, almost at the moment when Ning Yixia connected the video, in the corner behind her, a man listened to all her conversations. Master, Miss Jiang, is already on the flight to Country F. She said that the award ceremony is very important. She also said that you both need to calm down for a while, so that you can think clearly before giving her news and admit your mistakes. Otherwise, I will contact her immediately and ask her to come back immediately. Ai said carefully, fearing to disturb the noble man who was quietly resting with his eyes closed in front of him. Ask him to admit his mistakes. Lu Sighting slowly opened his eyes. The light in his dark eyes was as quiet as the deep sea, cold and unpredictable, and his low voice was without a trace of emotion. No need, it's better for her to calm down there for the rest of her life. Ai was startled, and before he could react, Lu Sighting's low voice continued, but it was not to him. Miss Ning Yixia, if you don't mind, how about we get married? Chapter 2 Flash Marriage Couple. Who is calling her? Ning Yixia didn't have time to put away her phone. When she heard someone calling her, she turned around and looked. Her eyes suddenly seemed to be embraced by the warm sun. The man was wearing a black casual suit, with delicate and handsome facial features, and an upright body that was slightly thin, but it still couldn't hide his noble elegance. His deep eyes under his black eyebrows were like the quiet current of the deep sea, and he had an outstanding temperament without losing his peace. Even though I have seen many young men of noble status, none of them seem to compare to the one in front of me, who is dignified and elegant, like a nobleman who has fallen into the mortal world. Lu Sighting didn't mind Ning Yixia's scrutiny. In fact, he recognized the girl. He had just returned to Aching and was ready to take over the Lu group. Before that, he personally laid off a group of people and promoted some capable backbones. Ning Yixia was a newly transferred director from the Lu group headquarters. He knew her basic information very well because he was the one who approved the transfer order, and the one who signed it was Ms. Shin Yu. What a coincidence, isn't it? It seems that she was also stood up by her partner. Ning Yixia obviously didn't know Lu Sighting. Her starry eyes were filled with astonishment and surprise. The next moment, she became clear-headed and alert, staring at Lu Sighting steadily. Hello, Miss Ning, I'm Lu Sighting. I saw what you just went through. My partner also broke the date. Since neither of us is necessarily with each other, why don't we get the marriage certificate? Lu Sighting made a gesture, and Ai suddenly came to his senses and quickly handed Lu Sighting's information to Ning Yixia. Ning Yixia narrowed her starry eyes at him slightly, took it and read it. Written on it was a simple message from the man. Lu Sighting, male, 31 years old, in good health, 187 centimeters tall, PhD in financial management and law, no bad habits. Ning Yixia took a while to come back to her senses. She looked away from the information and looked at him. Mr. Lu, do you know what's wrong with me? Why are you so careless? Then Miss Ning, do you think there is a way that is simpler and faster than this method? The man's deep voice was very calm. Marriage is a big deal. Ning Yixia seemed to be reminding herself as well. Any situation can be solved. I think it would be more appropriate for us to get the certificate together. Besides, Miss Ning is in a dilemma right now. Wouldn't it be better to be straightforward and show your determination, defeat the other party, and solve the worries at the same time? Lu Shiting has clear ideas, acts decisively and cuts the Gordian knot quickly. These words almost instantly lit up Ning Yixia's mind. He was right. Judging from the current situation, apart from other things, Lu Shiting looked much better than Ji Yuxian in appearance. He also didn't look like the kind of person who would cheat for money and sex, so why wouldn't she do it? Although there is some element of anger, but there are always times when I can't control my rationality, so I grit my teeth and take photos, fill out information, and get the certificate, all in one go. In less than 10 minutes, 2 red marriage certificates were handed to the newlyweds. This sudden action shocked Ai so much that he couldn't recover for a long time. Miss Ning Yixia, just became their young lady? How many women dreamed of the position of the young lady of the Lu group, but it fell so easily on the head of Miss Ning. If Miss Jiang knew this, would she explode with regret? When I came out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, the sunset was just right outside. I'm having some inconveniences here, so our wedding won't be made public for the time being. The wedding will be held at a later date according to your wishes. Also, do you plan to move in with me right away, or what? Lu Shiting is a man who acts decisively and has strong adaptability. After getting the certificate, he immediately got into the role. No matter how calm and composed Ning Yixia was, she was still a little dazed at the moment, but the arrow had been shot and there was no turning back, so she had to take it one step at a time. I've been a bit busy these days. She is very busy at work and recently has been working overtime until late at night almost every day, and she can't even rest on weekends. Xin Yu, the chairman of Lu Group, is about to retire, and her eldest grandson is coming back to take over all the affairs of Lu Group. She has just been promoted to director of the RD department of Lu Group, and needs to hand over to the person who takes over her job as soon as possible, and also to director one of the RD department. She is very busy. Ning Yixia was originally invited to join Lu Corporation. In 5 years, she was able to obtain the position of director, not only because of her hard work day and night, but more importantly, her strong ability and outstanding achievements. Okay, move when you want. Lu Shiting gave her enough buffer time. Give me the phone. Ning Yixia was slightly stunned. She reacted quickly, unlocked her phone and handed it to him. Lu Shiting took it, dialed his own number on her phone, saved it for her, and returned the phone to her. I'll save the number for you, call me anytime if you need it. Ning Yixia took the phone and put it away without even looking at it. She took a long breath and said faintly, okay. Some sacrifices may bring about a better future. His words seemed to have a hidden meaning, but Ning Yixia didn't think much about it and just nodded obediently. Okay, it's getting late, let's have dinner together. Boss Lu is very sensible and it doesn't seem awkward at all. At least in his opinion, Ning Yixia in front of him is more suitable for him. If it's not her, it will be someone else. Wouldn't it be more comfortable for him to have capable subordinates than those ignorant young ladies? What's more, in his opinion, Ning Yixia is far beyond the reach of those women in terms of academic qualifications, appearance, and ability, so communication would not be difficult. Don't worry, I won't sell you out. After all, we have to be familiar with each other, Miss Ning. Seeing that she remained silent, Lu Shiting said calmly. Hearing this, Ning Yixia stopped being pretentious, put away her messy thoughts, and nodded, okay. In a blink of an eye, night fell quietly, the lights came on, the traffic was like a tide, pedestrians were coming and going in an endless stream, and the smell of fireworks was very strong. Lu Shiting took her to the famous restaurant Lao Tai Fong in the north of the city, a century-old restaurant. The dishes there have been on the tables of VIP guests at state banquets. It is always fully booked all year round. It is difficult to get a number even if you make a reservation a month in advance. Moreover, they only accept reservations. The prices are shockingly expensive, but that still can't stop everyone's enthusiasm for it. Ning Yixia didn't think much about it. She just thought that Lu Shiting had made an appointment in advance, probably because he wanted to celebrate with his original marriage partner. He was constantly on the phone and was very busy. The food was served promptly. Lu Shiting then hung up the phone, put put away his phone, raised his dark eyes to look at her. Please. Thanks. Ning Yixia didn't hesitate and picked up the chopsticks, but at this moment, the cell phone in her pocket vibrated. She took out her cell phone, took a look at it, her brows solemn, and looked at him apologetically. I'll take a call. Lu Sighting nodded indifferently. Chapter 3 Happy Wedding? As soon as the call was connected, the voice of my father Ning Yixia came from the other end. Your sister is injured and can't travel. Come with me to the Xing family's cocktail party the day after tomorrow. You should prepare well in the next 2 days. Only after these words were spoken did Ning Yixia react. Haixing Media has recently gotten into trouble as the Xing family threatened to sue it in court because of copyright infringement. The Xing family has some background in ouching, so Ning Yixia and his friends dare not offend them easily. In fact, the most fundamental reason was that Lin Momo provoked Xing Wensong, the second master of the Xing family. Xing Wensong is fat and big-eared, nearly 40 years old, vulgar and lustful, with a very bad reputation. He has been married 4 times and has several children. Lin Momo certainly doesn't want to be his stepmother. Now, Lin Momo happened to be injured. Was it intentional? It turned out that they all knew that Ji Yuxian had gone to see Lin Momo, and she couldn't get the certificate today. Ning Yixia understood. In an instant, her face turned pale. She clenched her phone tightly. She tried her best to control her voice but still couldn't hide the trembling. So, you all know that Ji Yuxian and I can't get married, and you still want me to replace Lin Momo and apologize to Xing Wensong. The other end was silent for a moment, then said, your sister is simple and delicate, not as smooth and adaptable as you are, and she is not suitable for attending those cocktail parties. It's just a cocktail party. Anyway, you often attend such banquets, so what difference does it make if you attend one more time? We are family, why bother so much? What difference does it make if you do it one more time? He. Every time they wanted to protect Lin Momo, she was always pushed out cheaply like this. Before, they did it for the old man's sake. Now, everyone has revealed their cards, and they still want to morally blackmail her. If she was innocent, she wouldn't have provoked someone like Xing Wensong. Why would she be so cheap as to sacrifice me to calm down the trouble? Is it Lin Han who whispered in your ear again? Ning Yixia sneered, knowing well the mother and daughter's methods. How do you talk like that? Have you lost all your manners? Ning Yixia scolded angrily. If you have good manners, you won't commit such a humiliation and ask me to get into the oil pan for you. They are so calculating, mother and daughter, just let them take over this flesh trade. Shut up. It seems that you still haven't learned what manners and politeness are all these years. I don't care what kind of mood you are in, you should think about your engagement with the Jiu family carefully. The overall situation is more important. Take some time to come back tomorrow and try on the dress your mother prepared for you. Ning Yixia was somewhat angry and embarrassed. You can blindly protect Lin Momo as you please, but don't cause me any trouble. Also, that ill-intentioned mistress is not my mother, she doesn't deserve it. That's enough, shut up. You evil creature. Ning Yixia cursed angrily. Ning Yixia was not afraid at all. You should show your authority to Lin Momo. She is now with her future brother-in-law. Please teach her what manners and politeness are. Don't try to blame me for the troubles she creates. Ning Yixia hung up the phone. Are they all ganging up on her to bully her, trying to force her into submission? She just didn't live up to their expectations. He took a deep breath to suppress the undercurrent that was about to burst out from his eyes. His cold and stunning face quickly regained its composure. He turned his head and said apologetically, I'm sorry to have embarrassed you. Her tone was quite calm, and it was obvious that she was also a person with strong emotional control. Lu Sighting raised his eyes and looked at her, his expression was calm. This doesn't seem funny. Hearing this, Ning Yixia felt a slight pain in her chest. After a while, she calmed down and said quietly, I'm sorry, I may have some troubles here. I hope I won't disturb you. Lu Sighting smiled and looked at her with his deep eyes. Since we all make the same choice, we have a community of interests. If you are good, then I am good, and vice versa. That's right, I'll fix it as soon as possible. Ning Yixia responded and raised her glass to toast him. Then I wish us a happy cooperation and a happy marriage. Happy cooperation. The man's eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at the restrained and calm woman in front of him. The next moment, he raised his cup and said, Happy wedding. At this time, in the Ning family villa. Ning Yixia was so angry that his face turned blue. Seeing this, Lin Han sneered, pulled up his silk robe, poured a glass of water, and walked over. What's wrong? Are you so angry? The children have grown up, you should stop being so hot-tempered. It will easily arouse the children's rebellious emotions. You should discuss everything with them. You can only blame Momo. She's grown wings. If she was half as sensible as Momo, I wouldn't be so exhausted. Momo is doing this for Haishin. Zheng Wensong is a very niggardly person, I'm afraid he won't let her go so easily. Ning Yixia took the water and took a sip. Being targeted by him is indeed a bit tricky. However, the Zheng family has a deep background, so we can't be enemies with them. It's better to make friends with them. This will not only suppress this matter, but also benefit Haishin. If Momo is fine, this would be a good opportunity. Unfortunately, Yixia has a deep prejudice against me. Lin Han's eyes were full of calculation. As a popular artist at the time, she had maintained herself very well and was still radiant. She was in her 50s but looked only 30. She was both beautiful and talented, and she was deeply loved by Ning Yixia. Ning Yixia married Ji Yunji just a few days after his divorce. The ladies in the circle breathed a sigh of relief, which was enough to show how powerful Lin Han was. You don't have to always ask her to do this. No matter what I am not her biological mother. I don't want to do something that is thankless. Lin Han said helplessly. Don't pay attention to what she says. You are just hard-mouthed but soft-hearted. Don't bother with her. She is short-sighted and is a person who is at ease. What can Zheng Wensong do to her? The Jiyu family still has nothing to say. Seeing his sweetheart being wronged, Ning Yixia felt a little distressed. Alas, what else can I say? You know, Jiyu Mingliang and his wife have a lot of complaints about Yixia. They called Momo over these times. Momo did it for Yixia's sake. Now that things have turned out like this, it's hard for her to do anything. Lin Han had long thought about replacing Ning Yixia and Ji Yuxian's engagement with Lin Momo, but she was cautious and would not rush for success. Now the opportunity finally came. Of course, as an old green tea girl, she naturally knows how to protect her daughter. Ning Yixia's face looked a little ugly again. He knew the attitude of the Jiyu family. They were probably more interested in Lin Momo becoming their daughter-in-law. Ji Yuxian had always been more caring towards Momo. Therefore, Ning Yixia will have to give up. Their Ning family cannot lose this marriage with the Jiyu family, so a peaceful solution would be best. If that's the case, then we can find a marriage for Ning Yixia and let her marry into the family. The Zheng family is a good choice. Chapter 4: A week in vain. Ning Yixia pondered for a long time before looking up at Lin Han. Don't worry, just let it go. We can't act first. We have to see what the other party means, otherwise we will be in trouble. Ning Yixia is not stupid either. Having been in the business world for many years, he has become quite shrewd and calculating. Brother Yuan, what you mean is? A gleam of light flashed in Lin Han's eyes, and he asked immediately. It's nothing, just see what the Jiyu family thinks. However, the Jiyu family wants to win the favor of the Lu family. The Lu family has been very interested in the entertainment industry recently. I heard that Lu's CEO Shen has retired and her eldest grandson is coming back to take over the company. Jiyu Mingliang and his team are trying every means to get in touch with this person. Lu's group? Doesn't he share work at Lu's? Can she find out any information? Lin Han asked. Ning Yixia gets angry when this is mentioned. She never told us about Lu's situation, and she is just a small clerk now. What use can she be? If she was really capable, she would have brought benefits to Haishin long ago, but she has not achieved anything and is deliberately targeting Momo, who is devoted to Haishin. The Lu Group is a leading and top-tier company in Aochin. Even the Jiyu family is very taboo when they mention it, not to mention Ning Yixia and others. On this side, during the meal, Lu Sighting kept receiving calls. So many things happened that day, and Ning Yixia was not in a very good mood, especially after receiving the call from Ning Yixia. Then she thought about what had happened until now, and there was no explanation at all from the Jiyu family and Ji Yuxian. Not to mention a phone call, there wasn't even a message. This was enough to show that they knew about today's situation at all, but they all chose to ignore her and treat her like a fool. She was not a saint, and she could not remain unaffected by all this. In fact, she was so heartbroken that she was numb and was really afraid that she would not be able to hold on and collapse on the spot. So, while Lu Sighting was answering the phone, she went out to settle the bill. When I saw the bill, I was shocked. The bill was 19,850. A pot of tea costs 58.88. It is indeed the most expensive restaurant and is not something that an ordinary person like her can afford. She has worked for nothing this week. After putting away the bill, he went back and saw IE standing outside, and said, "Hello, please tell Mr. Lu that I'm going back first, and I'll contact you later." After saying that, she turned and walked forward, as if she had forgotten that she was now Mrs. Lu. IE is in a dilemma now, and it is also in a dilemma not to chase him. In the blink of an eye, Ning Yixia's figure disappeared around the corner. He quickly called the front desk, only to find out that the bill had already been paid by Ning Yixia. After Lu Sighting finished the call, IE pushed open the door and walked in. "Master, Ning Xiao. Young madam has gone back." Hearing this, Lu Sighting raised his eyes and looked at him. Seeing that he looked calm, IE took a breath and continued, "She just settled the bill." "Bill, please." It wasn't surprising considering the woman's stunningly cool, controlled and calm face. "Master." At this moment, IE spoke again with some hesitation. "What's up?" Lu Sighting's tone was cold and no emotion could be heard. "The young lady just said, she worked for nothing for a week." "A week of work for nothing?" Lu Sighting was silent for a moment, then quickly reacted. "Get her a card, and she can pay from my account when she comes over." In fact, it is not surprising. Although she looks calm, she is actually distant and aloof in her heart. She is a very clear-headed girl and has a temper. Yes. IE was naturally surprised, because his young master seldom gave orders for such privileged matters, and most of the time he handled things in a business-like manner. So now, is this Miss Ning a little bit special, or does the young master simply not want to be treated by a girl? Even with Miss Ning's identity, I don't know if the old man and the others can get through easily. "Master, my family called to ask about you and Miss Jiang." IE spoke cautiously. "As for the marriage, it's as they wish. As for who to marry, he has the final say. After all, the old man and his family just want a granddaughter-in-law." Lu Sighting looked indifferent and stood up slowly. "Yes, but how do we explain it to the Jiang family?" Lu Sighting interrupted with a dull look, "Don't even think about cooperating with the Jiang family. I don't want to see any news about my relationship with the Jiang family appear in those insider news." IE understood immediately. Their young master had no intention of explaining at all. "Once again, I mourn for the Jiang family in my heart. The Jiang family is considered a wealthy family in Ouchin. If the Jiang family had not been kind to the old man before, and had not taken advantage of the old man's illness to push Miss Jiang to their young master would not have considered Miss Jiang at all. However, Miss Jiang just thought that their young master must have her, and she had been parading around in public under the banner of being the young master's fiancée recently. Their young master must have been dissatisfied for a long time. This time, it was even more outrageous. Their young master was unable to return to attend the party she hosted due to a big project, and afterwards their young master gave her gifts to appease her. But she didn't answer the phone for 3 days, and ran out to play without saying a word. She even asked their young master to apologize and launched a drone to announce to the world that everyone in AO City knew that she was their young master's treasure. "You are just being coquettish. If you act like this, you are done for." For one night, Ning Yixia was barely able to control her emotions. She convinced herself to stay calm and make more plans for herself. On the other hand, she couldn't put work aside and had to get busy. On the contrary, I seemed to have lost touch with the world and had forgotten about the temporary marriage. And, the next morning, as soon as she sat down in her office, she received a supreme card personally delivered by the manager of Lao Tycoon, as well as a delicious breakfast. "Ms. Ning, please accept it," Manager Zhang said respectfully. Ning Yixia was confused, her eyes full of surprise. What is this? She couldn't remember when she had any relationship or business dealings with such a high-end restaurant. "We are also doing what we are told. You don't need to make an appointment when you come to Lao Typhoon in the future. Just show this card." After Manager Zhang finished speaking, he put down the envelope containing the card and the lunchbox and left. Ning Yixia looked at the things on the table, full of confusion, until her assistant Wang Mo knocked on the door and came back to her senses. Director Ning, the PR department has sent over an invitation letter. Wang Mo said this as she handed Ning Yixia an exquisite red invitation. Ning Yixia took it, opened it, and saw that everything was clear. There would be a charity dinner the day after tomorrow evening, and the Lu Group would send her and manager Wei from the public relations department to represent the company to attend, and the higher-ups had already notified them before. The Lu Group does a lot of charity work every year, and Ning Yixia has experienced a lot of such occasions. Okay, I understand. Ning Yixia responded calmly and quickly returned to her work. Chapter 5, Marriage is my personal choice. The sky in Oucheng was gloomy in the afternoon. Soon, the brewing rain came quietly and the whole city was shrouded in a hazy mist. On the 88th floor of Xinyu International, in the lounge of the president's office, Shenrui exchanged glances with Ming Xiujin beside him, and when he saw the other party nod, he looked at Lu Siting on the sofa in the middle and asked in a low voice, "Did you really kick Jiang Yingchan and get a marriage certificate with your subordinate Xia? The Jiang family played the favor card with your old man, and the old man took the opportunity to dig a hole for you. Maybe he just wanted to put pressure on you and have a great-grandson. Did you really bury yourself?" After Shenrui said this, Ming Xiujin also narrowed his eyes slightly and stared at Lu Siting with interest. When they learned from Ai that Lu Siting was getting married and his partner was not Jiang Yingchan, they were shocked. This is too sudden. The person who was least likely to get married is now the first to get a marriage certificate. Moreover, under this circumstance, Lu Shiting raised his eyelids, and there was silence in his dark eyes. It doesn't matter if you get married. It's just one more woman. Your subordinate might be more suitable. Or are you looking for a shield and are you still waiting for her? Seeing that he didn't say anything, Ming Xiujin chuckled. However, before he could finish, Lu Siting's unpredictable black eyes suddenly looked at him, with a hint of coldness and sharpness in his eyes. Marriage is my personal choice. It has nothing to do with others. She is not a shield. Anyway, if it's not her, it will be someone else. If it's not Miss Jiang, then maybe Miss Wang or Miss Han. If this problem must be solved, then there's nothing wrong in taking the opportunity to solve it. Are Grandpa and Grandma putting too much pressure on me? It's not like they didn't put pressure on me before. Why is it that this time? Shenrui was a little surprised. It seemed that Lu Siting didn't look like someone who would give in easily. Get married, save trouble. Lu Siting said this indifferently, then stood up and left. The air seemed to suddenly turn cold. Shenrui and Ming Xiujin exchanged glances, both of them filled with confusion. After Lu Siting's figure disappeared outside the door, they took a deep breath and subconsciously turned to look at Ai beside them. What's wrong with him? Does anyone know? Yi looked embarrassed, and after a moment's hesitation, he lowered his voice and said, "Before the young master returned to China, Miss Song came to see him. I don't know what they talked about, but in the end Miss Song left crying. In fact, Ai didn't understand what happened. That day, Miss Song lost her temper and cried sadly, but her young master just said, 'As you wish.'" Ming Xiujin and Shenrui both paused, with different expressions. "Have you found out everything about Xia?" After a while, Ming Xiujin asked this question. Ai hesitated and said, "I just know the general idea, master doesn't care. But Miss Ning is also very nice. At least she is prettier than Jiang Yingchan. Maybe the old men are worried that the young master still can't get over the past few years, so they force him to get married and start a new life, and maybe he will be able to forget the past. But, someone like Lu Siting, doesn't he seem like someone who would be influenced by the past, right? He, really, doesn't play by the rules as usual." This time, I really don't know how many people were shocked. "Doesn't the old man know that the target has changed?" Shenrui asked. "Yes, master, maybe there will be arrangements later." Ai couldn't say for sure. After all, the newlyweds hadn't seen each other or contacted each other since getting the marriage certificate and having dinner yesterday. The young master had probably forgotten about this matter. "Well, I got a batch of good stuff when I went to the South China Sea this time. You can find someone to go to my place and get it as a wedding gift for your young master and young mistress." Ming Xiujin retracted his gaze and said, "Okay, Mr. Ming." In the blink of an eye, it was evening and the rain was still heavy. A black Mercedes-Benz slowly drove from Xinyu International Auxiliary Road into the sea of cars ahead. "Master, are we going back to Peninsular Villa or Maple Garden?" Ai in front asked. Lu Siting was silent for a few seconds, and then his low voice sounded. Go to Nanxiang Old Street. After hearing this, Ai was stunned for a moment, and it took him a while to react. Miss Ning's information showed that she lived at number 117, Nanxiang Old Street. Young master, have you finally remembered this Miss Ning? Yes, master. It was almost 7 o'clock when Ning Yixia got home from get off work. She lived on the old street of Nanxiang, and the Ning family had long since given up on including her, so they tried every means to drive her out. Although this place is a bit old, the facilities are complete and convenient. I usually take the subway to go to and from get off work, which can avoid traffic jams to a great extent. I can also buy groceries at the supermarket near my home without worrying about parking. She lived in an old 2-story Western-style house. The first floor of the house can be used as a shop, and then further inside is the kitchen, living room, and storage room. Upstairs are the bedrooms, study, and a small terrace, which was left to her by her mother, Gu Yunji. She put her things down and was about to wash her hands and cook when the doorbell suddenly rang. Why is it you? Ning Yixia was very surprised to see Lu Siting appear at the door. Not welcome. Lu Siting looked indifferent. He reached out and took a bouquet of flowers from Ai beside him and handed it to her. Champagne roses paired with lisianthus also looked pretty good. Ning Yixia's eyes froze for a moment, and it took her a long time to digest what she had just heard. Then she regained consciousness and reached out to take it. Thank you. Come in. In fact, it is inevitable that meeting again will feel a little abrupt and awkward, but thinking about the facts that have already happened, I can only move on. Lu Siting walked in, and Ai followed him in carrying bags of gifts. He put the gifts on the table beside him and left quickly. Ning Yixia motioned for him to sit down and asked, Have you had dinner? I'm about to cook, do you want to join us? Good. Lu Siting responded calmly and straightforwardly, which made Ning Yixia a little stiff. She was just being polite. However, considering their current awkward status, it is only natural for them to have a meal together. Then does Mr. Lu have any dietary restrictions? Are onions, ginger, garlic, and cilantro acceptable? Ning Yixia asked politely. It will be all right. Lu Siting originally wanted to go back to the peninsular villa directly, but Shinrui and others suddenly came over in the afternoon, which made him suddenly remember the woman he had just obtained the marriage certificate with. Now that I've married her, I can't just leave her like this. Then you can sit for a while and look around, even watch some TV. Ning Yixia poured him a glass of water. Lu Siting responded and took the water. Ning Yixia put the TV remote control on the table in front of him, ignored him, and walked towards the kitchen. Chapter 6, Husband and Wife Getting Along. Lu Siting looked at the house calmly. It has 2 floors, and is warmly decorated. It is not very big. Outside is the front hall, and inside is a small front yard with some flowers and plants. Then there is the living room, and at the back are the kitchen and dining room. The balcony of the living room is next to the front yard. On one side there was a stone table, benches and rattan chairs. On the stone table was a pot of tea, teacups, a few books, and an open document. It was about Lu's plan to enter the entertainment sector. When there's one more person at dinner, of course you can't be as perfunctory as when you're alone. Cook the rice and start preparing the ingredients. Soon, sweet and sour spare ribs, fried pineapple with chicken, stuffed loofah, stir-fried melon seedlings, winter melon and shrimp soup. 4 dishes and 1 soup are ready. The ingredients and my skills are limited, I hope Mr. Lu will forgive me. Ning Yixia served him half a bowl of soup. Lu Siting's deep gaze rested on the dishes in front of him. It's a simple home-cooked dish, but it looks good and you can tell that the quality is good. Won't. He hadn't eaten such a warm home-cooked meal for many years, and the only memory he had was many years ago, in his father's staff quarters. Are you used to cooking for yourself? The man asked this question in a low voice, but his tone was affirmative. Ning Yixia moved the soup bowl towards him and replied, Well, I always ate takeout meals in the early years, which caused problems with my stomach. The doctor said I need to pay attention. It's cleaner and more hygienic to cook by myself. Besides, cooking is also a good way to relieve stress. Lu Siting's dark eyes sparkled. Seeing her focused expression, he asked, Are you under a lot of pressure at work? Hearing this, Ning Yixia raised her eyes to look at him. Her eyes were very clear, and after thinking for a while, she replied, It's okay. I work at Lu Group, a big company, so there is some work pressure. but it's actually nothing to me. My pressure, of course, doesn't come from here, but. She stopped talking after that, and her starry eyes dimmed slightly. So, Lu Sighting already knew what she meant. IE seemed to have checked her out later, and of course he knew what was going on between her and that guy named GU. According to IE, she paid a lot, but that man still made her lose, and her situation didn't seem to be very good. Her parents divorced when she was young, her father remarried, and her mother also had an accident. How could she take care of herself living alone among a pack of wolves? Only by being ruthless can one stand firm. After a moment of silence, Lu Sighting said this. He didn't know how to comfort, let alone whether the other person needed comfort, and he himself was not someone who had this skill. Ning Yixia smiled happily. I know, but thank you, Mr. Lu. Her tone was still polite and distant. If it weren't for you, I might not have been able to muster up that determination to rebuild after breaking down. It's just that our marriage came too suddenly, and I feel a little. Not quite getting used to it, are you? Lu Sighting finished her words, with a rare hint of gentleness in his deep eyes, and a low tone that seemed a little more relaxed. You have plenty of time to adapt, so don't make it hard on yourself. Thank you, Mr. Lu. Does Miss Ning have to be so polite? Ning Yixia chuckled, then relaxed and said, okay, let's eat. Ning Yixia likes sweet and sour light flavors, and all the dishes on the table are her favorites. She dined in a quiet and elegant manner, giving off a sense of otherworldliness, cleanliness and leisure. Ning Yixia also caught a glimpse from the corner of her eye. The man opposite her was very elegant, like a noble young man. She didn't know who he was. After dinner, Ning Yixia cleaned up the dishes quickly. Lu Sighting wanted to help, but the woman moved quickly. Ning Yixia took the dishes to the kitchen to wash them, but she actually felt some uncontrollable undercurrents in her heart. The man outside had such a strong aura that even though he spoke very little, she still felt a little tense when she met his gaze. This aura is not inferior to those top CEOs, but according to his assistant, his family just opened a small company and he just helps manage it. I was so absorbed in thinking about it that the dishwashing liquid on my hand slipped. There was a loud bang and the plate shattered to the ground. She came to her senses suddenly, looked down, and hurried over to clean up. However, water dripped from the detergent onto the ground, making a large area of the ground wet and very slippery. So, as soon as she walked over, her foot slipped and she fell forward heavily. She quickly stretched out her hand to support the ground, but as soon as she pressed down, a piercing pain spread from the palm of her hand. She tried to stand up despite the pain, but her feet slipped again. Careful. A deep voice suddenly came. She felt a gust of cool air, and a strong arm quickly grabbed her waist and pulled her up. Then, she fell into a warm embrace. The cool and subtle fragrance became more and more obvious as it flowed into her nose. This. She struggled to stand up, but her feet were still very slippery. She could only subconsciously reach out and grab the clothes around his waist to barely stabilize her body. Being embraced by such a man, she could clearly feel the gentle warmth coming from him, which was low-key, deep and yet controlled. It was difficult for her to describe this feeling. Although she was engaged to Ji Yuxian, the most intimate thing they could do was just hug, not like that, so she naturally couldn't control herself and began to struggle. Don't move if you don't want to hurt your feet. A man's low and unquestionable voice came from above her head. Ning Yixia felt pain and embarrassment at the moment, and her mind was a little numb after listening to it. Women, it's really troublesome. Only when he saw that she had given up struggling did he carry her out. She felt vaguely that her feet were a little cold, and looked where was her left shoe. This. It's such a disgrace to her. Lu Sighting looked down at her. Her right hand was all red, with bright red blood flowing down her white wrist. Seeing her blushing face, he frowned and asked, "Does it hurt?" Ning Yixia turned her head away embarrassedly, her whole body frozen. Lu Sighting put her on the sofa, took her hand and saw that her palm was full of ceramic fragments. "You're seriously injured. Go to the hospital." After saying this, he wanted to pick her up again. Ning Yixia didn't care about the pain. She just wanted to get rid of the embarrassment at the moment, so she said, "It's okay. There is a medicine box at home. If you don't want this hand to be crippled, just be quiet and go to the hospital." Although these were words of concern, there was a warning in the tone. Ning Yixia gritted her teeth and struggled, "I can walk, please let me go." He didn't force her, but put it down neatly, found the medicine box, got gauze to wrap her up, and then took her to the hospital. Chapter 7. I don't cherish her, but I cherish you. Late at night, University Hospital. Huachicheng took great effort to pick out the debris from Ning Yixia's palm, clean it, disinfect it, apply medicine, and bandage it. It's a bit serious. It may cause inflammation. You need to come here in time to change the dressing and take some anti-inflammatory medicine in the next 2 days. Xiao Wang, take Miss Ning to clean the blood stains on her hands. Yes, Director Hua. The nurse came over quickly. Ms. Ning, please follow me, let's clean it up. Ning Yixia took a deep breath and subconsciously glanced at Lu Siting, who was sitting next to her. Lu Siting slowly stood up, and seeing that she was lightly dressed, he took off his suit jacket and draped it over her shoulders. I was in a hurry to come out just now and didn't have time to put on my clothes. A faint temperature came, and a warmth quickly enveloped me. Ning Yixia subconsciously wanted to refuse, but was held back by him. Go ahead. The low tone was irresistible. Ning Yixia. I didn't want to say anything more, so I just followed the nurse out. Huachicheng, who was standing by, crossed his arms and watched the whole scene with a playful smile on his handsome face. After Ning Yixia disappeared outside the door, he looked at Lu Siting meaningfully and teased, "Don't tell me she is the new Madame Lu that Shenrui and the others mentioned." Lu Siting slowly leaned back in the chair behind him, lowered his eyes, and said indifferently and simply, "It's her." Hearing this, Huachicheng immediately raised his eyebrows, very surprised. Are you serious? Are you attracted by Miss Ning's looks or something? She is indeed very pretty, and stunningly cool. But I don't remember you being such a superficial person. There's nothing wrong with being superficial. Lu Siting responded calmly, and subconsciously reached into his pocket. When he felt nothing, he remembered that he had just given his jacket to Ning Yixia, and the cigarettes and cell phone were inside. Stop, this is a hospital, be careful. Huachicheng smiled. I didn't realize you were so kind to women. Seeing that he was silent, Huachicheng said this again. Now her name is written on my spouse column. I don't cherish her, but you? Lu Siting's tone was cold and indifferent, and no emotion could be heard. It's just fulfilling one's duty. Huachicheng shrugged, shook his head and smiled. I dare not ask your great master Lu for pity, but we are little overwhelmed by your sudden situation. How are you going to explain to Grandpa Lu and the others? It's just a marriage. Lu Siting seemed to become a little cold. So, are you really planning to be with her? Aren't you worried about her background? What if she's a scheming woman with ulterior motives? I haven't heard that he is familiar with Ning Yixia. Lu Siting frowned slightly, his dark eyes condensed with depth, and he said nonchalantly, I was the one who proposed the marriage, I'm not stupid enough to be controlled by a woman. His tone was quite arrogant and uninhibited, and he didn't think that he would be influenced by a woman at all. Huachicheng raised his eyebrows and smiled. Well, you, Mr. Lu, will certainly not be easily controlled. Who has the courage? But, what are you going to do with her? Are you really going to take her back to meet your grandparents and reveal your identity to your parents? Once you've married someone, you can't just treat them as a decoration. Lu Siting didn't think too much about these emotions. He wasn't so incompetent as to worry about what a little woman might do to him. It didn't matter if she was after money, status or power, but she was afraid if she was after feelings. Looking at you, it seems that you didn't make this choice entirely because of pressure. I'm just afraid that you're acting on impulse. Jiang Yingchan is indeed. Lu Siting sneered. She deserves it. Hearing this, Huachicheng trembled and shook his head quickly. It seems that I am really not worthy. Getting married just saves a lot of trouble. Lu Siting really didn't think that getting married required much of a reason. If getting married could give him some peace of mind and stop them trying so hard to force women onto him, he wouldn't mind doing it straightforwardly. It's just a matter of supporting one more person. When we came out of the hospital, it was almost midnight. The wind and rain were still going on and the ground was wet. After a while, the car slowly stopped at the entrance of Nanxiang Old Street, and I quickly got out and opened the door. Ning Yixia took off her coat and returned it to him. Thank you, Mr. Lu, I'm really sorry for the trouble tonight. He didn't take it, but reached out to put it on her again. Get out of the car, I'll take you inside. Ning Yixia wanted to refuse, but the other party got out of the car without waiting for her to say anything, holding a big black umbrella in his hand. It takes some distance to walk from the entrance of the old street to the door of my house. Because the street lamp lines are in disrepair, the already dim lights seem even more silent and dark on this stormy night. She took a breath and had no choice but to get off the car. The two walked side by side, and the man held the umbrella mostly above her head, so she didn't get wet at all. Ning Yixia was not used to it. No one had ever sent her home like this before. Even when she was in the best condition with Ji Yuzian, he only sent her to the intersection just now. Now, a man she was not even familiar with did this easily. She had mixed feelings in her heart. Had she been stupid before? Didn't you even notice Ji Yuzian's indifference? Ji Yuzian is very caring towards Lin Momo. Why does she think that just because they are engaged, everything will go smoothly? Thank you so much for troubling you tonight, Mr. Liu. Looking at the figure gradually moving on the wet ground, Ning Yixia raised her eyes slightly and looked at him, expressing gratitude. Liu Xiting's eyes fell on her quiet profile, and his lips opened slightly with indifference. You don't have to be so polite all the time, Miss Ning, everything I do is what I should do. Ning Yixia was stunned for a moment, and suddenly realized that although the man in front of her seemed cold and indifferent, he had a strong sense of responsibility. Thinking of this, Ning Yixia couldn't help but chuckle, and said with a sigh, I'm not that fragile. I've gotten used to being myself over the years, so I'm a little uncomfortable with it. It's my first time delivering it, too. The man was concise. Ning Yixia. After a while, the two arrived at the door of their home. Ning Yixia took out the key and tried to open the door, but the movement was not very convenient. A slender, handsome hand took it and quickly opened the door. She was stunned for a moment, then walked inside subconsciously. The next second she turned around to look at him, and was about to ask if he wanted to go in and sit for a while. However, Liu Xiting put away his umbrella, took 2 steps forward, bent down slightly, and got her a pair of clean slippers from the shoe cabinet beside him. You're okay. Ning Yixia nodded, it's okay. Take care of your wound, get some rest early, and call me if you have any problem. He looked at her with a calm gaze. Ning Yixia responded faintly, well, good night, Mr. Liu. He nodded slightly, turned around and walked out. Chapter 8. Do you know you are wrong? The footsteps outside the door had faded away. Ning Yixia finally breathed a sigh of relief, slowly returned to the living room, and sat down on the sofa. At this moment, the mobile phone on the table suddenly lit up. It was a call from Ji Yuzian. Ning Yixia picked up the phone indifferently. She wanted to see what would happen. 2 days had passed and he hadn't called or said anything. As soon as the call was connected, a familiar yet unfamiliar male bass voice came from the other end. Where have you been? Why did you take so long to answer the phone? Ning Yixia now felt that the voice was so strange and unreal when she heard it. Thinking back to the beginning, they had shared weal and woe, and Ning Yixia didn't know how they had ended up like this. Do you know you are wrong? Seeing her silence, Ji Yuzian on the other end asked this question in a low voice. Hearing this, Ning Yixia sneered and asked in a cold tone, what did I do wrong? From beginning to end, he didn't give an explanation and tried his best to PUA her. Did he give them too much face before, so he let them trample on her again and again? Ning Yixia, I don't know why you have become like this. It seems that you still have no intention of reflecting on yourself in the past 2 days. Ji Yuzian's tone seemed full of disappointment. Ning Yixia was so angry that she almost laughed. Her cold voice was filled with sarcasm. You, the future brother-in-law, spend all day with your future sister-in-law, and you don't think it's wrong to leave your fiancé aside. What do I need to reflect on? That's enough. Don't impose your dirty thoughts on others. From the beginning to the end, it has nothing to do with Momo. Fortunately, she is kind-hearted and tried her best to explain it for you. The problem between us is our fault and has nothing to do with others. Why do you have to blame others? Ji Yuzian's voice was filled with undisguised disgust and loathing, and his tone was very cold and emotionless. You never reflect on yourself and always blame others for everything. I am really disappointed in you. Disappointment? Dirty thoughts. Don't think that just because she can't see, she has no imagination. Did he think she didn't know how close he and Lin Momo were? How many times had she dealt with being caught by the paparazzi before? Did he forget, or did he deliberately have selective amnesia? A dog can't change its nature of eating shit, it's just deceiving itself. Marriage is just marriage. How can it override the life and death of a person? How long do you want to make such a fuss? I never knew that you were so narrow-minded and cruel. You really wish for Momo to be in trouble. She is your sister who has the same blood as you, not someone else. Ji Yuxian's tone was full of anger and rebuke. Getting married is just getting married? Human life is at stake. Ning Yixia felt a dull pain and aches in her chest. After a while, she spoke in a dry voice that was almost numb. Human life is at stake. So, Lin Momo is dying. Do you have to call you over at this time? It's just right for her to die. If she wants to die, just die quickly. I'll burn more paper money for her on Qingming Festival next year, so that she won't upset me. Shut up. You still say you're not wrong. You've always been like this, with a cruel heart and a vicious mouth, cold and sharp, so strong that you're never willing to reflect on yourself. Yixia, do you know that with a strong and vicious personality like you won't be happy even if you get married? Who can stand you? Which man can stand you? Ji Yuxian seemed to want to pour out all his dissatisfaction. Ning Yixia clenched her hands subconsciously, and the piercing pain in her palms intensified. Ji Yuxian never hesitates to use the most vicious words for her, but he is always gentle to Lin Momo. It turns out that not all your efforts will be appreciated and taken to heart by others. They think you are showing weakness, and that they are superior to others. You are humble as dust, so they try their best to pua you. She has given in again and again, and now she has almost no way out. If this is the result of dedication, then she is really. At school, she graduated with excellent grades and received an invitation letter from a prestigious foreign university. Later, she went abroad to study. When she was about to graduate, Heng Rui was in trouble. She had to end her studies early without even getting her diploma. She resolutely gave up further studies and went to help Heng Rui. In 2 years, Heng Rui went from being on the verge of collapse to having its profits multiplied several times, becoming a new star in the industry. At this time, because she was so popular, the eyes of the entire company were almost on her. Even the CEO Ji Yuxian was overshadowed by her. In order to take all aspects into consideration, she restrained her own brilliance, accepted the olive branch thrown by Shen Yu, and went to Lu Group. And then, this is how she ended up. Sure enough, I will pay a heavy price for my stupidity. Yixia, I hope you can reflect on this. It will be good for both of us. Perhaps realizing that his words had gone too far, Ji Yuxian lowered his voice slightly. Ning Yixia's lips curled up with a hint of sarcasm, and she sneered, I'm just a man, I don't need to embarrass myself because of a slut. Since you think Lin Momo is gentle, kind, clean and pure, then I wish you all the best. Just take care of your people and don't bother me anymore. This request is not difficult to do, right? That's enough. Ji Yuxian seemed a little bit unbelievable that Ning Yixia, who was always obedient and accommodating to him, would say such words to him. Ji Yuxian, you really make me feel sick. I've said enough, Yixia. Ning Yixia's cold and resolute tone made Ji Yuxian feel a little uneasy. Why do you have to be so tough, you? Ning Yixia didn't want to hear the rest of the conversation anymore and hung up the phone. They always stared at her like a judge, asking her to do this or that. She admitted that she lacked love. She tried to gain the attention and love of her family members, and tried to gain his love, but it was useless. She didn't understand why her father didn't love her, her grandmother and the others didn't care about her, and even her promising fiancé thought she was vicious. She tried her best to heal the misfortunes that happened in her childhood, but she couldn't change anything. I am so numb. She just sat there in silence, her eyes becoming a little blurry due to the burning heat. She didn't want to cry. It wasn't worth it for this kind of man and these feelings. However, she really couldn't swallow the grievance in her heart at this moment. At this moment, she felt a familiar light and cool fragrance flowing through her nose, and then a white handkerchief appeared in front of her. Chapter 9 Madame Lu will not lose. She was slightly startled, then quietly turned her head and looked up. Lu Siting's noble and handsome face suddenly came into view. He went and came back. She still had the key to her house in her hand. Do you need it? There seemed to be a hint of comfort in the low and calm voice. I guess he heard the conversation just now. Ning Yixia turned her head away, took a deep breath, hid all her outward emotions, forced back the sadness and haziness in her starry eyes, suppressed the noisy undercurrent in her throat, and said in a slightly hoarse voice, No, why are you back? Key. He raised the key in his hand, his deep eyes still fixed on her face. Ning Yixia turned her head away, took a deep breath, and the next moment, her misty eyes had returned to their usual clarity. Did you hear everything? She didn't want others to see her vulnerability and embarrassment. Many times, she had cried as if to vent her feelings, but she had to cheer herself up and heal herself. She, Ning Yixia, has never been fragile. Lu Shiting remained standing, looking down at her condescendingly. The light in his black eyes was like the undercurrent of the deep sea, instantly catching every slightest dodge she made. Want to cry? The low voice was like a cool breeze coming from a deep forest, chilling and chilling. Ning Yixia paused, took a deep breath, and after a while, she said with difficulty, I don't want to cry for anyone, and I don't want to hurt anyone. Hearing this, Lu Shiting chuckled, remained silent for a moment, and said in a deep voice, if you think like this, you will naturally live a tiring life. Listening to this, Ning Yixia raised her eyes and looked at him blankly. He reached out and placed the keys on the table. Not all concessions can be rewarded and appreciated. Only those who do not wrong themselves are qualified to look down on others. Only fools will wrong themselves to help others. I don't think Miss Ning should be that fool. The arrogance and dominance hidden in his words were obvious. However, when these words came out of his mouth, Ning Yixia didn't feel that he was arrogant at all. Instead, she felt a strong aura of arrogance from a superior. Hearing this, Ning Yixia forced out a bitter smile that was uglier than crying, now it seems that I am a fool. The man chuckled and stared at her for a while before he said in a deep voice, but obviously, you can choose not to be that fool, right? That would only make people think I'm even colder and more powerful, right? Ning Yixia spoke softly, with a light tone, as if she was mumbling to herself. However, as soon as the words came out, Lu Shiting didn't take it seriously. I'm very curious, what kind of loser would say this to you and make you lose like this? When Ning Yixia heard this, she was stunned. She looked at him with starry eyes for a long time, not knowing what to say. He is right. She did lose, and lost miserably. I'm sorry for making you laugh. She took a breath and laughed at herself. This is not a joke. Lu Shiting lowered his eyes and looked at her palm, which was slightly bleeding. If you are unhappy, just fight back as much as you can. You don't need to be so considerate of others. I originally thought I could at least embrace a ray of sunshine, but are you sure that what you are hugging now is not freezing ice? The man's words were always so sharp that they instantly made her numb heart clear. I have no intention of snooping into anything. Let's take care of the past. The future is our future, both of us. As he spoke, his deep eyes looked at her calmly, and continued, I will not force or require you to figure these things out now. These are your private affairs, and I will not interfere. But, from now on, you must always remember that you are Madame Lu, and you will not lose. For me, there is no such word as cold or strong for a woman. Well, have a good rest. If you are not able to move, don't try to be strong and don't make things difficult for yourself. His tone was calm, but between the lines he spoke revealed the decisiveness and awe-inspiring aura of a controller. Where did this man come from? He had such an aura. She felt an invisible pressure just looking at him. Ning Yixia's eyes were filled with shock. She looked at him for a long time without saying anything. Even after he left, she was still somewhat dazed. The black Mercedes-Benz was once again shuttling through the vast rain. Lu Shiting leaned back in the back seat and closed his eyes to rest. Master, the old man keeps calling me. Don't worry, I'll get back to you later. Lu Shiting said this indifferently. Yes, master. By the way, the old lady told you to call her back after you decide when to officially take over. I think the PR department wants to hold a handover ceremony. Also, Vice President Yarn has returned to Ouching and will take up his post in 2 days. The company may temporarily arrange for the young lady to assist him so that he can familiarize himself with the company's business as soon as possible. What do you think? Hearing this, Lu Shiting's silent eyes slowly opened. Just follow the company's arrangement. In the company, there is no need to talk about personal feelings. Yes. Ai was stunned for a while before he responded. Isn't personal sentimentality an issue in public affairs? It seems that the young master is still the same young master, still distinguishing between public and private matters and not seeking special treatment. Arrange for people to renovate the street lights on Nanxiang Old Street and improve the cameras to ensure safety. Before Ai could finish his thought, his young master suddenly gave an order. Ai was stunned and it took him a while to react. Renovation of street lights in Nanxiang Old Street. Perfect camera? What the young master means is, okay, the street lamp is indeed a bit old, and the safety of the young lady must be guaranteed. He should take back his previous thought. Any questions? Lu Sighting frowned. I immediately responded, no problem, I'll do it right away, master. Because of her limited mobility, Ning Yixia had to exert a lot of effort to barely finish taking a bath. She walked out of the bedroom with her long hair loose, intending to get a glass of water, when she vaguely sensed some noise or vibration. She looked around and found that the sound seemed to come from the sofa. She walked over and saw that Lu Sighting had forgotten to take his coat, and the sound came from the cell phone in his pocket. She had no intention of snooping, so of course she didn't answer the phone, even though it rang many times. After a while, her own cell phone on the table also started vibrating. It was an unfamiliar landline number. She thought about it and finally answered it. Soon, a familiar and deep voice came from the other end. It's me, Miss Ning. Mr. Lu. Ning Yixia was startled, glanced at her vibrating phone, and continued, I forgot to return your coat. Your phone is still with me, and the calls keep coming. Do you need me to send it to you? Yeah, I know. No problem. I'll go get it tomorrow. When Lu Sighting returned home, he realized that he had forgotten his cell phone, so he just called. But Ning Yixia thought that she might not be at home tomorrow. Chapter 10 I have a crush on her. Noticing Ning Yixia's hesitation, the man asked, what's wrong? I might not be home tomorrow, I need to go out and buy some things, so. She needed to go out and prepare her dress for the charity night the day after tomorrow. You need to rest. It's okay, it's just that my hands are inconvenient. Otherwise, I'll put the key in the flower pot at the door, and you can open the door yourself when the time comes, okay? As soon as the words fell, a man's deep voice came from the other end, you need to strengthen your safety awareness. Ning Yixia was stunned for a moment, and then she roughly understood what he meant, so she explained, I rarely do this, but I'm afraid of wasting your time. Where are you going tomorrow? Lu Sighting asked directly. Maybe it's over at Wuxing Street. Otherwise, come over at a convenient time. I can wait for you, or go home early. Well, let's talk about it tomorrow. I'll call you in advance. Go to bed early. Okay, good night, Mr. Lu. Good night. Ning Yixia put away her phone and walked towards the bedroom. In the peninsular villa, Lu Sighting's luxurious and elegant study. Lu Sighting put down the phone, and less than a minute later, the phone rang. I looked at the caller ID and it was Shin Yu calling. Grandmother. Lu Sighting picked up the phone calmly and leaned back in the chair behind him. Why aren't you going to bed so late? I called you but you didn't answer. I asked Ai to leave you a message but you didn't reply. How can I sleep? Shin Yu's voice came from the other end. Lu Sighting remained silent, and Shin Yu could not help but continue, you and the girl from the Jiang family. I don't need to explain anything about this matter. If the Jiang family wants an explanation, let them ask their daughter. As soon as Lu Sighting finished speaking, Shin Yu sighed. Hey, it was your grandfather who insisted on matching us up, don't take it to heart. The day after tomorrow your grandfather Yi and Miss Yi will come over, you can come back. Before Shin Yu could finish her words, Lu Sighting interrupted her directly, you will get what you want soon, and you don't have to send people to me in the future. Oh, you should pay attention to it. Never mind, let's not talk about this. I know you are upset about this. By the way, does the company need to match you with a secretary temporarily, or do you plan to choose one yourself? Shin Yu asked, and waited for a long time. Seeing that Lu Sighting did not respond, she continued, if the company arranges it, I can recommend someone to you. It's Ning Yixia, the planning director you promoted a while ago. She does an excellent job and is very careful and organized. I admire her and have a good impression of her. You handsome men and beautiful women, it's okay to develop an office romance. It's up to you. Lu Sighting replied indifferently. Okay, then just arrange for her to stay with you for a while. Also, the PR department is planning to hold a succession dinner, what do you think? You arrange it. It's late. Go to bed early. After saying this, Lu Sighting hung up the phone. Ning Yixia seemed to have been selectively forgotten. At least after she and Ji Yuzian failed to get their marriage certificate, she did not receive any care from any of them. However, in sharp contrast, Lin Momo's side was very lively. The reason why Lin Momo is called Lin Momo is because she took her mother Lin Han's surname. As a popular female artist, Lin Han is very well known, and she is always good at putting on a good front. She said that her relationship with Ning Yixia was just an accident, because she didn't want to disturb Ning Yixia's marriage, so she raised her daughter by herself. It was not until Ning Yixia divorced Ji Yunji that she resumed her relationship with Ning Yixia. Moreover, Lin Han stated that he had no interest in the Ning family's property and did not ask Lin Momo to change her surname to Ning Yixia's, thus concealing his ambitions very well. Therefore, Lin Han, the stepmother, has always had a good reputation. She is also very enthusiastic about charity work, is very popular in the circle, has a good background, and naturally has a lot of resources. She can easily promote Lin Momo, a second-generation star. This is one of the reasons why Lin Momo is so tough. Early in the morning, at the Ning family villa, Ji Yuxian personally carried Lin Momo down from the car and walked carefully towards the villa. He walked all the way to the sofa in the living room and gently put her down. His movements were gentle, as if he was protecting a priceless treasure. Ning Yixia and Lin Han were both there, and several of Lin Momo's friends were waiting beside them. Lin Momo has always been good at handling interpersonal relationships and has a good reputation in the circle. Moreover, she is very popular now and has the support of the Hengrui Jiu family. She is a real resource giant and there are many people who want to make friends with her. Momo. What did the doctor say about the injury? That Mu Jingjing is so annoying. She's obviously jealous. She's such a small-time 18th tier person and yet she's so happy. She should be banned from coming out forever to prevent her from hurting people. That's right. That Mu Jingjing is so arrogant. She really should learn a lesson, so she doesn't think she's worth anything. By the way, what's wrong with your sister? You've explained everything to her, but she's still so arrogant. She always targets you and makes a fuss about the issue, isn't she answering your calls? Lin Momo was wearing a white waist-hugging skirt, a white knitted jacket, and no makeup on. Her palm-sized face was filled with worry and helplessness. It was all carelessness. Don't take it to heart. It was nothing. I was careless. Don't always pick on her. Also, since she's my sister, she won't make things difficult for me. Maybe it's because she's too busy with work. Once she's busy, she can't take care of anything. Lin Momo seemed to be trying her best to explain for Ning Yixia. You don't have to speak for her. In fact, we all know that she is the kind of stubborn and cold person. Have you ever been able to get a good face in front of her? Now she even dares to turn her face away from my cousin. The person who spoke was Chen Shirue, Ji Yuxian's cousin. Hearing this, Ji Yuxian's handsome face suddenly darkened, and his dark eyes became gloomy. He did not forget the phone call he made with Ning Yixia last night. They had never had such a fierce argument before, and he had never seen Ning Yixia so sarcastic. Maybe it's better to talk it out so that both of us can calm down. He indulged her too much, that's why she was so extreme again and again, without any sympathy or understanding. Even if they got married, they probably wouldn't be able to live together. Ning Yixia's temper needs to be tempered. He doesn't like women who are too strong. If things really can't go on, he will naturally compensate her with some money. Xia Rui, okay, stop talking. She's my sister. I know her best. She's definitely not that kind of person. She's just used to being independent. Lin Momo glanced at Ji Yuxian, and seeing that he looked unhappy, she lowered her eyelids to hide the coldness that flashed across her eyes, and hurriedly excused Ning Yixia. Chapter 11 I'm here. Lin Momo has always been good at portraying the character of a gentle, considerate and understanding person. Sure enough, seeing her magnanimous and tolerant appearance, some people immediately became worried about her. You always think she's a good person. Every time she acts like a demon, you try every possible means to find excuses for her. But she doesn't appreciate your kindness. You deserve to be bullied by her. Chen Shirue was somewhat helpless, and she felt a little distressed when she saw Lin Momo. Hey, why is it you who is engaged to your cousin and not you? If she really marries your cousin in the future, you will suffer. She will definitely take it as an excuse and think that she is the wife of the boss of Hengrui, and will do her best to make things difficult for you. When Chen Shirue said this, everyone was stunned. A gleam of light flashed in Lin Momo's eyes, and soon, her slightly weak and pale face was filled with helplessness. Then she shook her head and smiled like a strong wildflower trying to face the sun. No, she is my sister, blood is thicker than water, she won't embarrass me, I believe. Brother Ziyan, what do you think? Ji Ziyan's expression was somewhat complicated. Looking at the charming little face in front of him, he reached out and touched her head, and said in a gentle tone, "No, I'm here." After getting the answer she wanted, Lin Momo chuckled and said happily, "I knew you wouldn't misunderstand me." "Okay, Momo, it's great that you can think positively. I'm just worried that you might misunderstand your sister. You have to go on stage at the charity night tomorrow night. Can you do it in the state you are in now?" Lin Han, who had been silent the whole time, was quite satisfied with his daughter's performance and slowly came over. "Mom. I'm really fine. Ziyang was just too nervous. I'm almost well now. There's no problem for me to go on stage. It won't be a good thing if I withdraw suddenly. Don't worry. No matter what, I will insist on going on stage," Lin Momo said quickly. The opportunity to perform on stage at this charity night was something she had worked so hard to get, even using her own trump card resources. How could she give it up? She thought that with this opportunity, she could win more people's recognition, which would be crucial for her to join Hengrui, take over Ning Yixia's position, and erase Ning Yixia's traces. Lin Momo looks so strong that it makes people feel a little distressed. "Momo, you are so dedicated. Even in this situation, you are still thinking about work. Yeah, Momo, are you really okay?" Everyone asked with concern. Lin Momo smiled and said, "Don't worry, it's okay. I can't break my promise. Lisa has prepared everything for me." "Okay, then you should take a good rest these 2 days and take care of your body. If there is no problem, we will follow your arrangement." At this moment, Ning Diyuan also spoke. "Well, don't worry, Dad. Also, don't blame my sister. I think she didn't mean it. She was probably too busy to answer your call. I know your temper. You and your sister are both soft-hearted. We are not from the same family, so we should not be together," Lin Momo said sympathetically. Ning Diyuan had forgotten about this matter, but now that Lin Momo suddenly brought it up again, the anger that he had suppressed in his heart suddenly rose up again. Especially in front of so many young people, everyone knew what Ning Yixia looked like. This really made him feel extremely embarrassed. What a curse! Seeing Ning Diyuan's gloomy face, Lin Momo felt very refreshed. "You should speak up for her, but she has to appreciate your kindness. Let's not talk about her anymore, she's a good for nothing," Ning Diyuan said unhappily. "Okay, you've been delayed these few days, and the dress isn't ready yet. You may not be able to get it custom made now. You can only go out and buy something ready-made." Lin Han spoke at the right time, and said to Ji Ziyan, "Ziyan, you will participate too, right?" Ji Ziyan nodded. Hengrui also received an invitation to such a large charity dinner. This is also a very important dinner for him, so he will definitely go. "Well, you can all meet up then. Momo, you and your sisters go upstairs and take a rest first, and then go shopping in the afternoon to see if there are any suitable dresses," Lin Han said. "Okay, Mom. Momo, I'll meet up with you then, and then my cousin will come pick us up, so we don't have to go through so much trouble." Chen Xiarui pulled Lin Momo, her face full of heartache. Lin Momo nodded with a smile. "I'm so envious. I heard that this is a charity dinner that only large companies can attend. Especially those leading companies. I heard that several major families will also come. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be able to attend such a banquet again. Momo, you're amazing. You can even perform on stage. It's not easy for others to get an invitation." Lin Momo smiled modestly. "No, it's all because of my mother's face. Mom, I'll go up first." After a night's rest, the injury on Ning Yixia's hand had healed a little. The pain was not as intense, but her movements were much slower. "When I got up, it was almost 10 o'clock. Fortunately, I have a double day off on weekends, otherwise it would be really difficult to go to work in this state." Ning Yixia didn't plan to cook breakfast. She simply drank a cup of warm milk. It was impossible for her to put on makeup. She put on some lipstick to make herself look more energetic, changed her clothes and went out. Ning Yixia took the subway to the entrance of Wuxing Street. Wuxing Pedestrian Street is one of the most prosperous and high-end commercial pedestrian streets in the entire Ouchin. It is owned by the Lu Group and includes many international brands, such as Chanel, Hermes, LV. Various big brands and limited editions are available. A famous den of brothel and a paradise for women. As soon as I walked out of the subway exit, I heard the roar of high-end sports cars. Looking around, I saw the afterimages of sports cars passing by. There were a lot of people, and everywhere there were beautifully dressed young ladies, wealthy ladies, daughters of famous families, and handsome and successful men accompanying them. Ning Yixia went straight to the clothing area. After walking around for a while, she finally stopped in front of a Chanel window. The black dress displayed on the model in the window is quite nice, simple and low-key yet elegant, with smooth lines and a slim fit. It looks noble and elegant, decent yet not ostentatious. Ning Yixia walked into the store and asked the shopping guide to get it for her. The salesperson introduced it to her with a smile. "You have a really good taste. This dress is a limited edition commemorative dress. There is only one in the whole city of Aachen. We just put it up." Ning Yixia nodded. "I wear a size S, does it fit me?" The salesperson handed the clothes to Ning Yixia. "Sure, would you like to try it?" Ning Yixia took the dress and walked to the fitting room. After a while, she changed and came out. At this time, a voice came over. Chapter 12, Jealousy. "Waiter, where is the champagne pink dress the model was wearing just now? Hurry up and bring it over for us to try on." The voice was very familiar, and Ning Yixia subconsciously turned her head to take a look. "Isn't he a Chen Xiarui?" She wore a loose-fitting white shirt over the red suspenders, tucked into low-waist black trousers. A black Dior bag hung on her arm, her beautiful long hair was draped behind her head, and on her hands were expensive Cartier bracelets and other luxury bracelets. The person she reached out to pull was a girl wearing a warm white A-line dress, paired with a light grey jacket. Her long black hair cascaded down her shoulders, and she had delicate makeup on, making her look gentle and charming. Lin Momo. After looking around, I think the one I just saw is the best looking. Momo, with your figure and temperament, any clothes will shine brightest on you. I'm looking forward to your stunning performance at the charity night. Lin Momo smiled helplessly and said, "It's just a simple performance on stage, it's not that exaggerated." The words were quite modest, but Lin Momo's heart was also full of excitement and fantasy. She expected that this dinner would allow her to outshine the whole audience and make a big splash. So evening gowns are also very important. The one-shoulder champagne pink dress just now is very stunning. With her figure, temperament, and appearance, plus the blessing of her mother Lin Han and Ji Yuxian's status, when the time comes and the media makes a big fuss about her and builds momentum for her, she will definitely become a hot label. I'm sorry, ladies. The dress we just ordered has been sold. It was a high-end version, and there's only one. How about you take a look at other styles? The new ones are all very beautiful. The shopping guide said apologetically. What, bought away? Ning Yixia. Why is it you? Chen Xiarui was about to complain, but when she turned around, she saw Ning Yixia standing in front of the mirror. She was dressed in a black dress, showing her elegance and nobility. Her hair was tied up, revealing her delicate and cold face, white swan neck, perfect tall figure, and flaming red lips. Even without makeup, such a simple dress perfectly set off her cold and elegant temperament, giving off the air of an elegant and noble aristocratic queen. Lin Momo hated Ning Yixia like this the most. No matter how down and out she was, she could always maintain an innate sense of nobility. No matter how she dressed up or how many famous brands she wore, at best people would just say she was sweet and cute. Even her stylist and agent suggested that she go for a fresh and sweet look. In fact, the reason why she chose the model was that she wanted to suppress Ning Yixia in terms of temperament, and it would be best if she could crush her to death. But now, looking at Ning Yixia like this, she still couldn't control the anger, jealousy and even hatred in her heart. She really couldn't accept it. Why was it that the level she had worked so hard to achieve was easily displayed by Ning Yixia? Lin Momo took great effort to suppress the jealousy in her eyes. A smile appeared on her face, and she said in surprise, "Sister, you are here too. What a narrow road." Chen Xiarui on the other side sneered and glanced at Ning Yixia hatefully. "You're everywhere, haunting me like a ghost. You're shameless, you don't answer my calls, you don't reply to my messages, you really think you're nobody." "Sister, Ziyang really didn't mean it. He just wanted you to calm down. Momo, there's no need to say too much to her. You're even spoiling her. Your cousin is just giving her too much face, letting her take advantage of you like this." He doesn't even consider whether he deserves it or not, and is just taking advantage of her. Chen Xiaorui was filled with anger and stared at Ning Yixia domineeringly. Xiaorui, don't say that. Sister didn't mean it. It was just a misunderstanding. Sister, it's all my fault. I hurt you. Ning Yixia was too lazy to watch the two people's hard work, so she went back to change out of her dress, and then came out and handed it to the salesperson. This is it, swipe the card. Ning Yixia took out the card directly from her bag and handed it to the shopping guide. Yes. You are so beautiful and have such a great temperament. This dress is the icing on the cake for you. It is elegant and noble. It is tailor-made for you. You have such a good taste. The shopping guide couldn't help but exclaim, her eyes full of amazement. Lin Momo, who was standing by, gritted her teeth again. She especially couldn't stand hearing others praising Ning Yixia, otherwise she would feel very uncomfortable. Ning Yixia is just an ordinary person. In terms of elegance and ability, can she compare with her, a professional model? Lin Momo just couldn't suppress the resentment and jealousy in her heart. I just can't help wanting to compete with Ning Yixia, to see who's better. I just want to step on Ning Yixia, to make her sink deep into the mud, to make her as black and smelly as the mud, and it would be best if she could never get out. Thinking of this, Lin Momo took a deep breath, controlled her emotions, and said softly, Sister, you have a good taste. Waiter, please bring me one too. I want to wear sister clothes with my sister. My frame should be smaller than my sister's, so I wear S. I'm sorry. This dress is also a limited edition. There is only one of its kind. This lady picked it first. And you need a tall figure like this lady to wear it well. Otherwise, would you like to take a look at other styles? We just got a lot of new styles back in our store. The shopping guide replied politely. Hearing this, the smile on Lin Momo's face suddenly froze, her eyes turned cold, and soon she was filled with loss. Chen Xiaorui, who was standing by, felt a little distressed when she saw Lin Momo like this, and couldn't help but said, Since you like it, Ning Yixia, take off this dress and give it to Momo. It's useless for you to wear it anyway. We, Momo, have a very important banquet to attend, which is related to the interests of Haishin. You are not so ignorant, right? Ning Yixia frowned slightly. Are you dumb? Speak. At worst I can give you double the money. It was a long time since the words were spoken, but there was no response from Ning Yixia. Chen Xiaorui frowned and said impatiently, If you like it very much, we will return it to you after our Momo wears it. It's just a piece of clothing, you can't be so stingy and ignorant, right? Sister, is it okay? I really need it. I was injured a few days ago and was delayed. That dinner is very important and I have to represent Haishin on stage. I will return it to you later and buy you a few more pieces, okay? How many times the price do you want? 3 times or 5 times? Just name your price. Lin Momo also asked softly. Ning Yixia turned a deaf ear and motioned to the shopping guide to go over and check out. Hey, are you deaf? Can't you hear us talking to you? Ning Yixia. Are you dumb? Seeing that Ning Yixia ignored them, Chen Xiaorui was extremely angry and immediately reached out and grabbed Ning Yixia's clothes. Ning Yixia shook it off with a backhand, and with a pop sound, Chen Xiaorui's hand was bounced away and passed directly in front of Lin Momo, and the sharp nails scratched Lin Momo's face. Chapter 13 If I don't blame you, who should I blame? R. Lin Momo screamed. Momo! Chen Xiaorui's face changed drastically, and she quickly looked at Lin Momo, how are you? However, Lin Momo had already covered her face, her whole body trembling slightly. She looked at Ning Yixia with a hurt expression, her beautiful eyes were full of grievance and forbearance, and her eye sockets were a little red. This drama queen is here again. Aren't you out of town? How did you get here? Ning Diyuan called last night to say that this woman was injured and could not attend Xin Wensong's cocktail party. Now she looks very energetic and does not look injured at all. Ning Yixia curled her lips in disdain. What's going on? A male voice came, and Ning Yixia knew who it was without even looking. Cousin, you're here. Ning Yixia wanted to snatch the dress from Momo and even hit Momo's face. As soon as Chen Xiaorui saw Jiyu Ziyan coming, she immediately complained. Mr. Jiyu. Hengrui has cooperated with these big brands, so the shopping guide of course recognized Jiyu Ziyan. She couldn't help but become a little nervous and immediately stopped her actions. Momo, are you okay? When Ji Yuxian heard this, a trace of nervousness suddenly appeared in his eyes. He quickly reached out and gently tapped Lin Momo's shoulder, checking her carefully, fearing that she was hurt. Brother Xian, Lin Momo covered her face, tears welling up in her eyes as she looked at Ji Yuxian. The charming look made Ji Yuxian's eyes darken. He immediately looked at Ning Yixia and couldn't help but shouted coldly, Ning Yixia, what do you want? I said it has nothing to do with her, why did you hurt her? There was also ice and snow in Ning Yixia's starry eyes. She was not afraid at all. She met Ji Yuxian's eyes calmly, with her flaming red lips tightly closed. This kind of momentum alone made Ji Yuxian feel a sense of pressure for no reason. Ji Yuxian, can you be more mature? You never have your own judgment, and you always believe what others say. Ji Yuxian was stunned, and there was a trace of struggle and complexity in his eyes. Lin Momo noticed Ji Yuxian's change, her heart sank, she quickly pulled Ji Yuxian and shook her head firmly, I'm fine, don't blame my sister, it was my own carelessness. There is still a misunderstanding between you, don't be so excited. It was Ning Yixia who got hurt. Cousin, quickly check on Momo, she can't get hurt. Chen Xiaorui also said anxiously. Ji Yuxian then carefully took her hand away and checked. Seeing the red marks on her little face, his eyes became gloomy. He held her in his arms and cast a cold gaze on Ning Yixia, to be so vicious, is Ning Yixia crazy? If you have anything to say, just come to me. Why hurt innocent people? This kind of blind partiality and favoritism certainly made Lin Momo very proud. She glanced at Ning Yixia with a hint of provocation from the corner of her eyes, with the attitude of a winner, and then she spoke softly the next moment, it's all my fault. I was careless. It has nothing to do with my sister. The skirt is also my sister's favorite. Since my sister likes it, I will give it to her. As long as my sister is happy. These words were full of forbearance and grievance, which made Ji Yuxian feel even more distressed and pity. Momo, don't be afraid. Cousin, this vicious woman is not worthy of being my cousin's wife. Chen Xiaorui said bitterly. Xiaorui, don't say that. Sister, don't be angry, I'll give it to you. You give it to me. Lin Momo, can you stop being so stupid and confusing right and wrong? It was obviously me who saw it first, tried it on and bought it, so how come you have to give it to me? Ning Yixia sneered, staring at the two people in front of her with cold eyes. A few days ago, he sent me a video to protest against me. Now he's trying to pretend to be a top-notch green tea, but is acting so greedy. It really makes me sick. Since you're so short of men, I'll give him to you. I broke up with Ji Yuxian. Didn't he tell you? As soon as Ning Yixia said this, a gleam of light suddenly flashed in Lin Momo's eyes, and she was naturally very proud and excited. Are you finally breaking up? Then she just had to wait for Ji Yuxian to speak. Anyway, they were of the same mind. If it weren't for Ning Yixia, the stumbling block, they would have been immersed in it and made substantial progress. In that case, she would be the undisputed boss lady of Hengrui. What would she want? Not to mention, the Jiyu family has a lot of connections and resources. However, when Ji Yuxian heard this, his eyes suddenly darkened. This feeling of disappointment at being unilaterally dumped by Ning Yixia undoubtedly hurt his dignity as a man. Lin Momo was always paying attention to Ji Yuxian. Seeing that his emotions were easily affected by Ning Yixia, a cold light flashed in her eyes and she quickly said, how could it be? Sister, did you and Brother Xian misunderstand each other? I'm sorry, it's all my fault. I don't want it anymore. I'll give it to you, okay? Don't be angry. Of course I blame you. It was because you wanted to compete with me that my family forced me to make you two happy. That's why I broke up with him. You must always remember that you plotted against your sister's fiancé. I broke up with him because of you. If not you, who should I blame? Ning Yixia sneered, and the cold voice was clearly heard by everyone. Lin Momo was suddenly speechless, she looked aggrieved and almost crying, her eyes were red. She turned her head and looked at Ji Yuxian with her palm-sized face, which made Ji Yuxian's heart tighten. That's enough. Ji Yuxian shouted coldly, glanced at Ning Yixia with cold eyes, then turned his head and said to the shopping guide beside him, pack up the clothes, we want them. But, this dress was, this lady's first choice. If you don't want to lose your job, do this now. Chen Xiaorui glanced at the salesgirl with disdain, with a strong warning in her eyes. The salesgirl was so scared that she quickly took the skirt and went to pack it. Ji Yuxian's straightforwardness and protection really made Lin Momo very happy. Of course, she did not forget to pretend, "This is not good, my sister also wants it. Is she worthy of wearing such a dress? Besides, what can she do in it? Just to admire it behind closed doors." Chen Xiaorui sneered, her eyes full of disdain. Ji Yuxian didn't even bother to look at Ning Yixia. He looked down at the scars on Lin Momo's face and said distressedly, "Your injuries have just healed, why bother with so much? If you want them to come to you directly, just let them come to you directly." "Thank you, Brother Xian. I really like the dress." Lin Momo had a soft smile on her face. Seeing Ning Yixia being slapped in the face by Ji Yuxian, she felt really happy. "As long as you like it, what else do you want to buy? I'll accompany you." "Okay, isn't Brother Xian going to participate too? Let me pick out some clothes for you." "Good." Ji Yuxian's eyes were full of tenderness and doting, something Ning Yixia had never seen before. Chapter 14. The slap in the face came too quickly. Ning Yixia watched the few people walk out silently, and a feeling of bitterness rose up in her heart uncontrollably. Such reckless pampering was undoubtedly like a slap in the face that shattered all the barriers she had carefully built. Everything she had worked so hard for in the past became an absurd joke. This was not the first time she had faced such blind favoritism. Such a drama would have been played out more vividly in her previous home, so she would flee from that so-called home at all costs. Ji Yuxian, Lin Momo and Chen Xiaorui left and continued to walk towards other high-end clothing stores, but they were stopped by the security guard at the door and told that they were closed. "I changed several stores and still got the same result. Now, in front of a high-end clothing brand store. Sorry, we are closed today," the security guard in a black suit said coldly. Hearing this, Ji Yuxian frowned, and seeing the customers choosing items inside, he asked in confusion, "Isn't this place open for business?" "It's closed now," the security guard replied expressionlessly. However, just as the security guard finished speaking, a customer was welcomed in. No matter how slow-witted Ji Yuxian was, he understood that these security guards were targeting him, and his face immediately became ugly and gloomy. "What's going on with you? Why can they come in but you can't open to us?" The security guard didn't even raise his eyelids and said in a cold voice, "We are also surprised that the manager personally ordered you not to enter the store. Perhaps your words and deeds were offensive, so the manager told you so." As he spoke, his eyes staring at the few people became more vigilant. Seeing this scene, Lin Momo couldn't help but look unhappy. She bit her lip and was about to say something, but Chen Xiaorui on the side couldn't help but said angrily, "You people are blind. Do you know who this is? This is the president of Hengrui, your president Ji Yu. Many high-end clothing brands on Wuxing Street have cooperated with Hengrui. He is your boss. You little shrimps dare to stop us, do you want to be fired?" Chen Xiaorui has brought out the aura of a socialite to the fullest. "What is Hengrui? What is Mr. Ji Yu? I don't know, I have never heard of it. Please get out of the way and don't interfere with our business." The security guard ruthlessly stopped them aside, and the next moment, he smiled politely at other customers who came in. "Hello, welcome. What do you mean by this? Are you targeting us? Call your store manager." "No, I want to see your manager. How can you do business like this?" Chen Xiaorui was so angry that she started shouting. "How can our manager be seen by people of your quality? Don't you ever look in the mirror before going out? How dare you go out with such a face?" After saying that, those cold eyes glanced at Lin Momo specifically, and the disgust in them was not concealed at all. "Are you mistaken? When did we offend you that you have to target us and make personal attacks on us?" Chen Xiaorui looked angry. Lin Momo naturally felt the other party's disgust. She couldn't help but feel angry at being humiliated like this, but with Ji Yuxian by her side, she had to endure it and didn't dare to lose her temper. "How could this happen? Did you misunderstand something? We didn't do anything. Did someone cause some trouble and you mistook it for us?" As soon as Lin Momo finished speaking, Chen Xiaorui's mind flashed with Ning Yixia's face. She gritted her teeth and said, "I knew it was that bitch Ning Yixia. She must have caused some trouble and brought shame upon us." It was clearly said that it was their fault, but they were still deceiving themselves and had to put the blame on others. The security guard was very upset when he saw this, and he couldn't help but retort, "You are too proud of yourselves. We don't want to target anyone. I'm just talking about you, what does it have to do with others? I simply don't like you. I feel uncomfortable at first sight. I'm afraid I'll have to wash my eyes if I look at you a few more times. Don't embarrass us, please get out of the way." This is the first time I have seen a security guard who is so direct and not afraid of offending anyone. There is no doubt that someone is dealing with them behind the scenes. Ji Yuxian's face was as gloomy as the bottom of a pot. He was about to say something when the cell phone in his pocket rang. He took it out and saw that it was Vice President Xu of the company calling, so he answered the call. Soon, Vice President Xu's anxious voice came, "Boss Jiu, the 3 companies over at Wuxing Street have removed all our products. They called and said they want to terminate the contract with us. The merchants over at New Century Plaza also called unilaterally at the same time and said they want to terminate the cooperation with us." After Vice President Xu said this, Ji Yuxian's face changed drastically, and he said, "Impossible. He had spent a lot of effort to negotiate this good thing, how could he just terminate the cooperation like this?" "It's true, Mr. Jiu. The other party's attitude is very firm. They unilaterally terminated the cooperation and didn't give us a chance to explain. We don't understand what happened. Please go back to the company soon. The shareholders have received the information and are rushing to the company." Ji Yuxian's face turned very ugly, and he quickly said, "I'll go back to the company right away." Although he was confused, Ji Yuxian did not dare to delay and quickly put away his phone. "Sorry, Momo, I have something to do at the company, so I can't accompany you. Sherue, you can continue shopping with Momo." Lin Momo saw that Ji Yuxian looked unhappy and immediately asked with concern, "What happened?" "Brother Xian." "Yeah, cousin. Look how they are targeting us. Momo and I are almost being bullied to death." Chen Sherue complained. Hearing this, Ji Yuxian's eyes flickered, as if he had realized something, but there was no time to think too much at the moment. "It's okay, go somewhere else and take a rest." After saying that, he left in a hurry. Lin Momo looked at Ji Yuxian's leaving back and couldn't help but grit her teeth in her heart. Just when I was about to remind him that this might have been caused by Ning Yixia so that Ji Yuxian could vent her anger, I didn't expect Ji Yuxian to leave just like that. "Why don't you leave? Do you want us to release the dogs?" the security guard said coldly. Lin Momo's face froze, looking a little ugly in its tension. It's all Ning Yixia's fault. It makes her so embarrassed. On the street outside Wuxing Street, a low-key black Mercedes-Benz was parked on the side of the road. IE came over to report, "Master, it has been done." Lu Sighting glanced at him and said indifferently, "The issue of the dress has been resolved." "Yes, Master." "Master, Mr. Fu called to urge us." Nan Feng, the assistant in front, lowered his voice. Lu Sighting raised the car window indifferently and said, "Let's go." Soon the car disappeared in the sea of cars ahead. Chapter 15 Charity Night. Ning Yixia finally picked out a white strapless dress. The style was simple, generous and elegant, and it looked pretty good when paired with a white jacket. "I went to wash my hair and went to the supermarket. When I got home, it was already past 8 o'clock in the evening. It was of course inconvenient to cook since her hands were not allowed to touch water." Ning Yixia planned to simply eat some instant noodles, but she didn't expect the doorbell to ring at this time. "Ms. Ning, it's me." IE was standing at the door, holding a food box in his hand, and with him was a doctor in a white coat. Ning Yixia quickly opened the door, a little surprised. "Why is it you?" "Master's order. I'll bring you dinner. Your wound is still in the recovery period, so you need a light diet. Also, your wound needs to be dressed on time in the next 2 days so that it can heal faster. Dr. Zhang will change your dressing later." Ning Yixia was stunned for a moment, and Lu Sighting's handsome face flashed through her mind. "Thank you. Where's he?" "Miss Ning, you're welcome. The young master is on a business trip to City A and may not be back for a day or two." Ning Yixia nodded and let the two in. Dr. Zhang quickly changed Ning Yixia's medicine, and IE also prepared dinner for her. They are all classic dishes of Lao Typhoon. Although light, they are very delicate, fragrant and appetizing. "Ms. Ning, enjoy your time. Call me anytime if you need anything. I just shook your phone and the number ending in 1999 is my number." I said neither humbly nor arrogantly. Ning Yixia nodded lightly. Okay, thank you, you've worked hard. After 2 days of rest, the wound healed a lot. On Monday, Ning Yixia went to work as usual. She spent the whole morning handing over work to the colleague who had taken over. She had lunch with an important client at noon. In the afternoon, she went to the planning team to hand over work to the former director. It was already 5 o'clock in the evening when assistant Wang Mo found her. The charity night started at 7:30 in the evening, and excluding the time on the road, she only had more than an hour to prepare. Fortunately, she brought her dress with her when she came this morning. Director Ning, please pack up quickly, put on makeup and change into a formal dress. Manager Wei has called to ask about it. Ning Yixia then got up, changed her clothes and put on makeup. For such an important charity dinner, the individual is not the focus, and there is no need to dress up. Just keep it simple, donate more money, and maintain the company's image. The Ning family would often try their best to attend such banquets, or banquets held by the upper class, but every time they would only bring Lin Momo with them, saying that Lin Momo was simple and kind and needed to see the world, but she was an old woman and no longer needed that. I just want to get rid of her. They tried their best to build up momentum for Lin Momo and promote her, but they were afraid that she would steal the spotlight. Now that I think about it, has Tgu Ziyan been like this over the years? Every time he would ask Lin Momo to be his female companion, in the name of the company, and every time he would use the words, "I'm afraid you're too busy," to put her off. In fact, Ning Yixia didn't really care about this kind of socializing. If her own strength couldn't keep up, she wouldn't be able to squeeze into the upper class no matter how hard she tried. Okay, tell him to meet at the company entrance in an hour. Yes, Director Ning. The charity night was held at the Ouching International Convention and Exhibition Center. Many high-end and grand events are held here. Today's charity night is one of the most grand dinners held in the field of public welfare in recent years, and most of the guests invited are people from the upper class. What everyone is most concerned about are the people at the top of the pyramid and several major families. However, these people rarely show up and at most they just send someone to give their opinion. Ning Yixia is carrying out such a mission. On the contrary, for such a rare opportunity to meet the bosses of top families, those small families and small companies are scrambling to get an invitation letter. For example, the Ning family went to great lengths to get an invitation letter to a banquet. Most of the celebrities and entertainment stars in Aoshima will attend this banquet. This rare night of big names gathering together will naturally attract the attention of countless media. This is also the reason why Lin Momo is trying so hard to squeeze in. At this time, several roads around the International Convention and Exhibition Center were closed as a temporary restricted area, and the magnificent stairs in front of the Convention and Exhibition Center were covered with red carpets. Countless cameras and video cameras were set up on both sides of the red carpet, and everyone focused their attention on this section of the red carpet and the signature wall in front. At the entrance below the red carpet, high-end sports cars and various luxury cars arrived one after another, dazzling the eyes. All the top celebrities, bigwigs, wealthy people, and daughters of famous families who got off the luxury cars were dressed up carefully, which was a visual feast. At this time, another Rolls-Royce slowly stopped, and countless cameras began to aim at the car door. Soon, the car door was opened and a silver-gray figure came into everyone's sight. Jiu Ziyan, the president of Hengrui Group and the eldest son of the Jiu family, got out of the car slowly in a high-end silver-gray suit, with a bright and handsome face and a noble air. The Jiu family is well known in Ouching, especially in the jewelry and clothing business. The Hengrui Group has developed very well in recent years. Many years ago, the Jiu family's Hengxiang Group was involved in a tax evasion and bribery scandal. Everyone thought that the Jiu family could not survive and closed down. Unexpectedly, Hengrui emerged and in just a few years of development became a brand recognized by everyone in Ouching. It can be seen that its strength is extraordinary. By the way, it also saved Hengxiang, which was almost bankrupt. Today, the Jiu family controls the Hengxiang and Hengrui groups, so Jiu Ziyan naturally attracts a lot of attention. With his outstanding looks and net worth, he has undoubtedly become the object of favor for countless women. At this moment, he stood firmly, then bent down slightly, with a gentle smile on his handsome face, and reached into the car very gentlemanly. Soon, a slender hand gently rested on his palm, followed his lead, and slowly walked out of the car. The woman's appearance immediately caught everyone's attention, and countless spotlights and cameras were aimed at her. She wore a black strapless dress, with her long black seaweed-like hair draped behind her, delicate collarbones, and a shiny, expensive diamond necklace on her white neck. The low-key and luxurious dress made her figure look even more delicate and graceful, and with her exquisite makeup, she looked very pretty and charming. Especially her movements and manners, all of which demonstrate the dignified etiquette of a lady from a noble family, which is very pleasing to the eye. Seeing the focus she had captured, Lin Momo was of course very satisfied. The dress looked equally beautiful and elegant on her. She even felt that she was more suitable for the dress and looked much better than Ning Yixia. After all, she is a graduate of a modeling school and cannot be compared to a native like Ning Yixia. Chapter 16 Who is the dog? Lin Momo lifted the hem of her skirt slightly and pressed her chest with one hand. The huge diamond ring on her finger sparkled brightly under the light, making it almost impossible to take your eyes off it. She snuggled up to Ji Yuxian, gently raised her head, and smiled gently on her beautiful face. Thank you, brother Xian. Seeing this, Ji Yuxian's heart instantly softened as cotton. He nodded gently and whispered, Momo, you are beautiful tonight. Hearing this, Lin Momo's beautiful face couldn't help but show a hint of shyness. Lin Momo stopped and a pretty woman in a champagne-colored dress got out of the car. Momo, you are the focus wherever you go. The spotlights are all on you. This is a height that people like Ning Yixia can never achieve in their lifetime. It's not that exaggerated. If my sister comes here, she will definitely surprise everyone. Lin Momo said modestly, with a hint of regret in her tone, it's a pity that my sister rarely attends such banquets. Can anyone come to this kind of party? With her temper, she can easily offend people. What if she gets into trouble? Look, she doesn't even give face to my cousin. Chen Shirui's face was full of disgust, especially when she thought of what happened yesterday. Ji Yuxian listened and his face darkened again. The company has encountered problems in the past 2 days. Many partners have inexplicably cancelled their cooperation and their products have been withdrawn. He is racking his brains to figure out how to solve the problem. The partners simply refuse to see him and don't give him any explanation. He just hoped that he could take this opportunity to meet them and have a good chat, or find some opportunities for cooperation. Okay, stop talking and go in. Although he didn't like Ning Yixia, at least she had once been his. As it was a matter of a man's self-esteem, Ji Yuxian didn't want to always hear others say how terrible Ning Yixia was. Especially when thinking about Ning Yixia's attitude towards him recently, Ji Yuxian felt a little uneasy. Ji Yuxian's sudden voice startled Lin Momo. After she reacted, she gritted her teeth in her heart. This bitch has been slapped in the face like crazy, just like an indestructible cockroach. It is still easy to affect Ji Yuxian's mood. After Ji Yuxian finished speaking, he walked forward. Lin Momo and Chen Shirui could only follow him by holding up their skirts. However, at this moment, a Bentley car slowly stopped, and the media's focus had shifted away from Lin Momo and the others, without even staying for a moment. In such a grand occasion, the focus and cameras are of course reserved for the top stars and those big family bosses. Although Ji Yuxian and Lin Momo are well known in their circle, their identities are not enough in front of several major families and those top bosses. Lin Momo couldn't help but feel a little jealous and disappointed. She subconsciously stopped and turned around to see who had snatched the camera that belonged to her. At this moment, a woman slowly walked down from the Bentley. The woman was wearing an ice purple one-shoulder dress. Her facial features were delicate and bright. Her hair was tied up, revealing her white swan neck and delicate collarbone. Her manners revealed an aristocratic temperament. The gorgeous dress made her temperament more noble and elegant. Her innate temperament was not the result of acquired training. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell it at a glance. The woman's appearance quickly attracted the attention of the media. Such a bright, stunning, graceful and noble woman is rare in the circle, but this woman looks a little familiar, but strange. For a moment, no one could remember who she was. Mu Jingjing. Chen Shirui, who was beside Lin Momo, exclaimed. When Lin Momo saw who was coming, her eyes suddenly turned cold. She didn't forget that it was Mu Jingjing who stole her limelight at the supermodel show a few days ago. When she fell into the water, this woman didn't react at all, and the look in her eyes when she looked at her was full of provocation and disdain. Thinking of this, Lin Momo couldn't help but feel angry. Mu Jingjing got out of the car swiftly, without stopping, and walked straight to the autograph wall. Mu Jingjing, it's you. Why are you here? How can an 18th tier artist like you come to this kind of place? You caused our Momo to fall into the water, and you still haven't explained it. Without waiting for Lin Momo to say anything, Chen Shirui came forward and spoke in a cold voice, lowering her voice. Mu Jingjing frowned and glanced at the two of them, her eyes full of sarcasm and disdain. She said coldly, "This banquet is really. Why did they let the dogs in? They didn't even check their breed. Who are you calling a dog, Mu Jingjing?" Chen Shirui reacted and said coldly. Mu Jingjing didn't bother to pay attention to these two stupid women and was about to walk forward. Lin Momo, who was silent on the side, naturally felt greatly insulted. When Mu Jingjing passed by her, she raised her foot and pretended to accidentally step on Mu Jingjing's skirt. Sure enough, Mu Jingjing lost her balance and was about to fall forward. Careful. At this time, a cold voice was heard, a cool and light fragrance came over, and a white and slender arm firmly grasped her waist and pulled her back. Mu Jingjing staggered a bit, but was firmly supported by that arm so that she did not fall. It's not that she was careless, but she didn't expect that Lin Momo would be so bold. Brother Ziyang. Before Mu Jingjing could react, a scream was heard and Lin Momo fell to the side. Momo! Ji Yuzian was quick to act and quickly hugged her slender waist and held her in his arms. Mu Jingjing looked at this and was so angry that she glanced at Lin Momo coldly with her beautiful eyes. Even Ji Yuzian was stunned by her gaze. Mu Jingjing did not forget the person who saved her, and subconsciously turned her head to look. A cold and stunningly sophisticated face immediately came into her sight. Her facial features are exquisite, her eyebrows and eyes are picturesque, her clear eyes are like stars in the dark night. She is wearing a pearly white slim-fitting strapless dress and a matching suit jacket of the same color on her shoulders. She is very tall, with a cool and elegant temperament, deep and sophisticated, and she is noble and elegant without losing her temperament. Elegant and majestic, stunningly cool. This is probably what natural noble and high-end beauty is. Even Mu Jingjing, who had seen many beautiful and elegant ladies, had to admit that she rarely saw such a queen-like woman. Over the years, she could only see this kind of woman in her mother Mu Changning. Her mother, Mu Changning, came from a prominent family and was a veteran in the business world. Both her temperament and image were top-notch. She was the woman she admired the most. "Are you okay?" Seeing Mu Jingjing's surprised expression, looking at her scrutinizingly, the woman was not angry, but asked this question lightly. Mu Jingjing finally came to her senses and quickly shook her head, standing firmly. "It's okay, thank you." Chapter 17. Who is shameless? Seeing that she was fine, the woman nodded slightly, withdrew her hand, and walked forward without stopping. Mu Jingjing thought of the person who had just made a move, her face darkened, and she looked at Lin Momo coldly. The sharp look made Lin Momo feel a little uneasy. However, at this moment, Chen Shirui's restrained voice came from behind Ning Yixia. "It's you? What are you doing here? Do you want to cause trouble again? Can you come to a place like this? Do you have an invitation? Do you want to come here and pester your cousin to take you in? Did he say he would take you in? You followed me here with such a shameless face. Do you have any shame at all? What bad luck! How shameless! You disgraceful thing, why don't you just get lost? Don't you think it's shameful enough?" Chen Shirui had just been slapped in the face by Mu Jingjing, and now she was taking out her anger on Ning Yixia. Especially when he saw the media focusing all its attention on Ning Yixia, he felt even more furious. Ning Yixia frowned and glanced at Chen Shirui and Lin Momo with a foolish look. Yixia. Ji Yuzian was obviously surprised by Ning Yixia's appearance. He hadn't even told Ning Yixia about the banquet, but he didn't expect that she would follow him after all. Although he was somewhat unhappy about Ning Yixia's self-assertion, he had never seen her dressed so coolly and stunningly, and suddenly he felt very proud. "Don't make trouble later, just follow Momo obediently and don't talk nonsense," Ji Yuzian said coldly, as if he was giving Ning Yixia a great gift. "Sister, you're here. I thought you weren't coming." Lin Momo said this while holding onto Ji Yuzian's arm with a possessive look. "I'm talking to you. Are you dumb? Ning Yixia, are you a follower? Why are you everywhere? You shameless guy, you followed me here on your own. Did they invite you? Do you have an invitation letter?" When Chen Shirui heard what Ji Yuzian said, she was furious and glared at Ning Yixia with disgust. Especially when she saw the bitterness and loss in Lin Momo's eyes, she couldn't suppress her anger and said, "I have never seen someone as shameless as you. Mu Jingjing finally realized that the woman who had helped her was called Ning Yixia. However, watching this scene now, she inexplicably felt sorry for Ning Yixia. Being bitten by these two mad dogs was extremely painful, and she understood this very well. A few days ago, this Lin Momo used a torture tactic to entangle her, just because she showed up. They try every possible means to scam people, disguise themselves as weak and generous victims, attract attention, and gain traffic. Various tricks emerge one after another. Thinking of this, Mu Jingjing had an idea in her mind. Who said she didn't have an invitation? I invited her to come with me, so why not? Mu Jingjing said, and immediately raised the invitation letter in her hand, looked at the few people with a sarcastic expression, and sneered, as far as I know, doesn't the president of Hengrui have a fiancée? How can he be so close to this sister-in-law? If you don't know, you, Lin Momo, will be the future boss lady of Hengrui. Having said this, Mu Jingjing suddenly leaned forward, and her cold voice suddenly rose, so that the media nearby could easily hear it. I say, Miss Lin Momo, you are so shameless. You shouldn't act out your true colors and perform a melodramatic scene like a sister-in-law snatching her brother-in-law, right? So, who is shameless? When Mu Jingjing said this, Ji Yuxian froze and his expression suddenly became a little ugly. Lin Momo was shocked and bit her lip, her eyes filled with restrained anger, especially when she saw the change in Ji Yuxian's expression. What nonsense are you talking about? Ji Yuxian warned sternly and glanced at Ning Yixia with dissatisfaction. He was naturally unhappy that she had followed him and embarrassed him. You can choose to be blind, but I am not blind. Sima Zhao's intentions are known to everyone. I will settle this account with you later. Hello, if you don't mind, we can go in together. Mu Jingjing was too lazy to talk nonsense with these people, so she turned around and spoke to Ning Yixia in a very friendly manner. Thank you, no thanks. Ning Yixia replied calmly, not affected at all. At this time, Wei Qingyu, the public relations manager of Lu Group, also came over. Wei Qingyu is tall, handsome, mature and steady. He is a very good socialite in the company and is known as one of the strongest public relations experts in the circle. Needless to say, his appearance is excellent. The image and reputation of the Lu Group have been flourishing in recent years, which shows that this person's strength is extraordinary. He walked over and asked Ning Yixia with concern. What's wrong? Fine. Ning Yixia responded calmly, took his arm politely, and walked forward, as if she didn't see Ji Yuxian and Lin Momo. Ignore. Complete disregard. Ji Yuxian felt indescribable discomfort in his heart, and his face was terribly gloomy. She actually ignored him in person and took another man's hand. At this time, Chen Shirui also heard the sound of discussion not far away. Who is that woman? How come I haven't heard of such a stunning beauty? She is capable and powerful, and stunningly cool. Is she from the entertainment industry? Such high-end beauty is rare, otherwise she would have been crowned a queen. Yes, she is very beautiful, not inferior to international celebrities like Zhang Huang and Li Huang. The man next to her seems to be Wei Qingyu. Is he from the Lu Group? Lu Group? God, is someone from Lu really here? Is she Wei Qingyu's girlfriend? Or, someone from Lu? Isn't Wei Qingyu from the Wei family? He is actually in Lu? Take a few more photos, he is so pleasing to the eyes, not inferior to international celebrities at all, maybe he will make his debut in the future. Everyone gasped. The media reacted quickly and surrounded the two people. Excuse me, Manager Wei, is the Lu Group planning to enter the entertainment industry? Manager Wei, when will the development zone in South China be open? Ning Yixia was squeezed and countless spotlights hit her face. Wei Qingyu had to answer a few questions briefly before he finally broke free and went to sign in. Lin Momo was so jealous that she almost bit her teeth off. It's Ning Yixia again. She always steals her limelight. Why is she here? Would she rather attend such a party as Xie? Would he be willing to sell himself out just to attend the party? Otherwise, how could someone like Wei Qingyu be interested in this kind of stuff and bring her to the event? Mu Jingjing felt refreshed when she saw the dark faces of the others. She quickly followed them. However, at this moment, she discovered a familiar figure was walking quickly from the front, and soon came to Ning Yixia's side, and seemed to call out, "Young madam." I.e. Isn't this her brother's personal assistant? How come he is here? Did he just call Ning Yixia, "Young madam"? Did she hear it right? Chapter 18 My legal wife, your sister-in-law. As soon as IE followed over, he noticed Ning Yixia frowning. Thinking that she might be injured, he came over to check. It's okay, go and get busy. Then be careful and call me if anything happens. IE said competently. Ning Yixia nodded slightly, then followed Wei Chenyu into the convention and exhibition center. IE heaved a sigh of relief and was about to leave when a voice came over. IE. The familiar voice naturally brought IE back to his senses. Ms. Jingjing. IE looked at Mu Jingjing, who suddenly appeared in surprise. Mu Jingjing stared at his eyes with interest, glanced at Ning Yixia's leaving back, and coughed lightly. What did you call that Miss Ning just now? IE froze. Hurry up and tell me. What's going on? I heard you call her young madam. Is she related to my brother? Mu Jingjing asked with narrowed eyes. Well, Miss Jingjing, you can call the young master in person. I have something else the young master has asked me to do, so I'll be busy now. After saying that, he fled quickly without waiting for Mu Jingjing to react. Hey! Wait a minute. Mu Jingjing was stunned for a moment, then immediately followed him, taking out her cell phone from her handbag. At this time, on the highway from the Olympic City Airport to the urban area, a black Mercedes-Benz sedan was moving steadily in the dark night. Nan Fong in front turned his head and said cautiously, Master, it's Miss Jingjing's call. Lu Shiting, who was thinking with his eyes closed, didn't even lift his eyelids. Let her have enough fun and go home. As soon as the deep voice fell, Mu Jingjing's voice could be faintly heard from the other end. Brother, answer the phone quickly. I have something to tell you. Brother. What's going on with Ning Yixia? After hearing the latter sentence, Lu Shiting suddenly opened his eyes. His silent gaze was filled with a hint of coldness. He slowly took the phone from Nan Feng's hand with his big hand. Have you seen her? Hearing Lu Shiting's voice, Mu Jingjing finally breathed a sigh of relief and said quickly, I just ran into her. She was also at the charity night. I saw IE calling her madam. What's going on? After Mu Jingjing finished speaking, there was silence for a few seconds, and then she heard the other party's answer. My legal wife, your sister-in-law, that's all. Lu Shiting's calm words shocked Mu Jingjing. What? Sister-in-law, sister-in-law? Isn't that Jiang Yingchan? She knew that the old man was determined to bring her brother and Jiang Yingchan together. She didn't like Jiang Yingchan very much at first, but her brother had the final say in this matter, so she could only respect her brother's choice. Unexpectedly, her brother got married, but his partner was different. Grandpa, do they know about this? Mu Jingjing asked. They only care about my marital status. As for who my partner is, they don't need to worry about it. Brother, you are not doing this. If my parents knew. If your parents knew you were fooling around outside, they would break your legs. Come on. Now let's talk about you and your sister-in-law. But I think she looks pretty good. Can you give me a reaction and tell me your story with her? Are you attracted by her beauty? I think she is pretty. Okay, let's go back early after the fun. No, I'm going to stay at your place for a few days. No. Is it possible? Okay. That's better. I'm going to go in and meet my sister-in-law. Don't mess around. This is still protected. Master, Mr. Shen's people are all here. As soon as Lu Shiting hung up the phone, Nan Feng in front of him spoke. Let's go to the convention center first. Yes, master. As their voice fell, the car smoothly got off the highway and headed towards the bustling city. At this time, the luxuriously decorated International Convention and Exhibition Center was already full of guests. This kind of large-scale, high-end charity night is usually divided into several stages. It starts with free activities where everyone communicates with each other, then there is a charity performance, a small auction, then the actual charity donation session, and finally free activities again. After learning about Ning Yixia's identity from her brother Lu Shiting, Mu Jingjing's whole heart was on Ning Yixia. As soon as she entered the venue, her eyes immediately scanned the crowd looking for Ning Yixia. At this time, Ning Yixia was greeting some old clients and friends. Mu Jingjing did not take the initiative to follow her, but stood beside her, observing her secretly. A woman who can make her brother speak up to defend her and even directly put her in the spouse column of the household registration book must be no simple person, right? Thinking of this, Mu Jingjing couldn't help but send a message. asking someone to check Ning Yixia's background so that it would be easier to find out later. Ji Yuxian, Lin Momo, Chen Xierui and others followed Ning Yixia in the whole process. Seeing Ning Yixia appear, everyone in the audience frequently looked back at her. Lin Momo was really worried, especially when she saw Ji Yuxian beside her, couldn't help but keep looking at Ning Yixia. Ning Yixia's outfit today was not deliberately outstanding, on the contrary, it was more professional, but this did not affect her charm. As soon as she walked in, many men came up to her and greeted her, their eyes full of admiration and amazement. Ning Yixia also responded generously and calmly. How disgusting. She must have put so much thought into coming to the party. Who knows if there's some inside story or she's been taken advantage of. Maybe it's another romantic affair. Chen Xierui stared at Ning Yixia and said hatefully, feeling extremely sour in her heart. Momo, she is just a villain who has achieved success. She is far inferior to you. In terms of beauty and temperament, how can she compare? She has long been as dirty as a pile of mud. Chen Xierui's words undoubtedly gave Lin Momo a shot in the arm, and Lin Momo instantly regained her confidence. She thinks so too. What can Ning Yixia use to compare with her? Origin, resources, or background? No matter which aspect, she is far better than Ning Yixia. She was too nervous and totally confused. Thinking of this, she took a deep breath, straightened her back, and showed her most gentle smile. When she thought she could amaze everyone. Hello, could you please bring me a glass of champagne? A male voice came from beside her, and Lin Momo thought she had heard it wrong and was a little dazed. Waiter, please bring me a glass of champagne. The man didn't get a response, so he frowned, raised his voice, and stared at Lin Momo with dissatisfaction in his eyes. At this time, Lin Momo realized that the man was talking to her. She was about to explain something, but Chen Xierui beside her suddenly exclaimed, Momo. What's going on? Chapter 19. Whoever is ugly will be embarrassed. Lin Momo turned her head subconsciously, and saw a series of black figures coming into view. It was a row of etiquette ladies walking over in an orderly manner, carrying drinks. What was shocking was that the dress the etiquette lady was wearing was almost exactly the same as hers. What shocked her even more was that the etiquette lady's look was almost identical to hers. Even the jewelry accessories are similar. At this time, those who can come into work as etiquette ladies are of course guaranteed to be good looking, and they are all beauties. I even heard that these etiquette ladies were screened through layers of screening, and they wear the same dresses and the same styles. No matter their figure or temperament, they are not much worse than Lin Momo. Lin Momo's desire to stand out again, in front of so many people, is simply a pipe dream. Take a closer look at those etiquette ladies. In comparison, you can easily pick out many whose faces are prettier than Lin Momo's. After all, Lin Momo is just sweet looking at best. Compared to Ning Yixia's cool and stunning high-end face, which is very impressive, Lin Momo's appearance is really not that impressive. So just now I was mistaken for a waiter. Lin Momo's face turned pale instantly, and her whole appearance almost lost its color in an instant. How could this happen? How could this happen? Lin Momo couldn't believe it. The dress she was wearing was the latest high-end model, and it was very expensive. More importantly, it was taken off Ning Yixia's body, and the clerk said that there was only one piece. Why were these hostesses wearing dresses almost exactly the same as hers? And the shape is almost exactly the same. What is going on? It's not embarrassing to wear the same clothes, but it's embarrassing if you are ugly. Lin Momo just wanted to scream. She also wants to steal the show and make a splash, and she's going to perform on stage later. What should she do now? It's too late to buy another one now, not to mention that it's not easy to find a suitable dress. Ji Yuxian also noticed this and subconsciously looked at Lin Momo, frowning uncontrollably. Brother Xian, Lin Momo raised her head, looking aggrieved and pitiful, which made Ji Yuxian feel distressed. After thinking about it, he simply took off his coat and put it on Lin Momo's shoulders. Lin Momo was startled, and a gentle smile appeared on her pale face. Thank you, Brother Xian. You always protect me when I need you most. It's okay. I'm here. Ji Yuxian comforted softly. What about my performance later on stage? Lin Momo was a little anxious. Ji Yuxian paused, glanced at Chen Xierui beside him, and said, otherwise, let you and Xierui switch for the time being. It is definitely too late to prepare new ones at this time. Listening to this, Chen Sherue froze for a moment, and a strange color flashed in her eyes. She didn't want to change. She didn't want to wear the same carefully prepared dress as the etiquette lady. She also wanted to meet some young talents and rich men later. If she switched places with Lin Momo, what would happen if others treated her as a waitress? Ji Yuxian's suggestion made Lin Momo's eyes light up, but she soon caught the struggle in Chen Shirue's eyes and said, "This is not a good idea. Shirue came with me, and there is a height difference between us. My sister and I are both taller." After Lin Momo said this, Chen Shirue immediately understood what she meant and said, "It's easy. Just ask Ning Yixia to give it to you. Anyway, your figures are similar. Besides, Momo, you are here for Haixing Media. Ning Yixia won't be so ignorant, right? Wouldn't that be a bad idea?" Lin Momo hesitated. "What's wrong with that? Haixing Media is a big deal, she must put the overall situation first. I'll go find her. Let her go to the locker room and change with you." As Chen Shirue spoke, she squeezed towards Ning Yixia's circle. Lin Momo looked at him, and her heart was suddenly filled with joy, but she looked worried as she looked at Ji Yuxian. "Brother Xian, sister will definitely understand, right?" Seeing her cautious look, Ji Yuxian's heart softened and he comforted her. "Well, she should be a person who puts the overall situation first." Lin Momo nodded gently, "I think so." Chen Shirue found Ning Yixia in the bathroom. "Ning Yixia, go to the dressing room right now." Ning Yixia stared at her coldly. Her sharp eyes startled Chen Shirue and she didn't even dare to look her in the eyes. "Who are you? Are you ordering me around?" Ning Yixia lowered her body slightly, leaned over to stare at her, and a cold voice came into her ears. Chen Shirue couldn't help but tremble slightly, secretly gritted her teeth, and was obviously lacking in confidence. "Momo wants to talk to you about something. She's going to perform on stage soon, take off your dress and change with her. Your cousin is also waiting, you can't be thinking about the overall situation at this time." Hearing this, Ning Yixia's eyes turned cold. Thinking of the etiquette lady just now, she immediately understood what was going on. So, he wanted to drag her out and sacrifice her again. It's true, I'm addicted to blaming her. Seeing Ning Yixia silent, Chen Shirue thought that Ning Yixia was suppressed. She immediately regained her confidence and stared at Ning Yixia with some arrogance. "Otherwise, if anything bad happens and affects Haixing Media, you will be in trouble." Ning Yixia glanced at her as if she was a fool, too lazy to pay attention to her, turned around and walked out of the bathroom. But Lin Momo was waiting outside. "Sister, this banquet is very important to me. The performance on stage is also very important to Haixing. Can you exchange the clothes you are wearing with me? I am willing to exchange with you for 10 times the price, or even compensate you with 10 sets, okay?" Lin Momo's delicate face was filled with helplessness. "Haixing's condition hasn't been good lately. My parents are so worried that their hair has turned white. My grandmother will be back in a few days. If she knew that Haixing was in trouble and was affected by our conflict this time, she would definitely not be able to bear it. You know that grandma is not in good health. Do you know that it is very hard for me to support Haixing now? I hope that you can understand me, and forgive me if I am wrong, okay? This drama queen. Sister. I just hope that you can put the overall situation first and let go of your grudges. I can compensate you in any way you want. Just stop making a fuss, okay?" As Lin Momo spoke, tears welled up in her eyes, and she looked like she was enduring humiliation and bearing a heavy burden. "Enough. Ning Yixia, it's just a dress. What's wrong with you taking it off and giving it to Momo? Momo is begging you so much, what else do you want?" Ji Yuxian finally couldn't bear it anymore and cried out of pity for Lin Momo. This low shout forced Ning Yixia to take a few steps back to a corner. Ning Yixia stared at Ji Yuxian in front of her, feeling a little sad. Chapter 20. A whole lot of jokes. What was she thinking at the time, such a blind man, that she naively thought she would have a future with him? The man whom she had worked so hard and desperately to help was now yelling and screaming at her and threatening her to this extent just for a cup of cheap green tea. Her eyes gradually turned cold, and finally calmed down. She took a deep breath and said, "Kneel down and beg me, I can consider it." Ji Yuxian froze. Ning Yixia's eyes made him feel complicated. He felt like something was slipping away quietly and he couldn't catch it even if he wanted to. "Ning Yixia, you bitch. How can you be so cruel and vicious? Chen Sherue screamed and cursed, "Do you want to take it off yourself, or do you want me to ask someone to take it off for you?" As she spoke, Chen Sherue waved to the two black-clad bodyguards behind her, and the bodyguards came forward. Ning Yixia's eyes darkened. "Why, are you still planning to take forceful action? What's with the changing of dresses? Besides being an attempt to bully her, is this also an excuse to make trouble?" Ji Yuxian did not stop Chen Sherue, because he also wanted to take this opportunity to teach Ning Yixia a lesson, so that she would know her limits and be more restrained in the future, and not always ignore and disobey him. "Shame on you, take it off. Hurry up." "Yes." The two men listened and then reached out to grab Ning Yixia. Ning Yixia didn't expect that these people would be so bold and brainless to attack her directly in this place and embarrass her in public. This was enough to show how arrogant those people were and how much they didn't take her seriously. Without caring about being sad or angry, he dodged immediately. Just as he was about to call for help, Chen Sherue next to him kicked Ning Yixia in the knee. Ning Yixia felt a pain in her leg and fell forward. At this moment, a familiar cool fragrance came over her. Her arm was grabbed by someone, and the next second, she fell into a slightly warm embrace. Then, a deep and cold voice came over like a piercing polar blizzard, "Deal with it." As soon as the words fell, someone responded, "Yes, master." In the blink of an eye, Chen Sherue didn't even see who was coming, and was directly picked up by the bodyguard and dragged out. "What are you doing? What are you doing? Let me go, let me go." Chen Sherue struggled and screamed. Lin Momo was so shocked that she couldn't react and was dragged out first. Ji Yuxian was pushed into the door and the door panel pressed down, causing him to scream in pain and almost turned into a meat patty. "I was pinched several times in a row." Ji Yuxian was pulled out from behind the door, dizzy and screaming in pain. He heard in a trance, "Hit him a few more times, his head is stuck in the door. See if he can recover if you hit him a few more times." "Yes, Brother Nan." As the sound fell, Ji Yuxian was pushed into the door again and was clamped several times. Lin Momo and Chen Sherue were like pigs, with their forelegs facing the sky, their skirts rolled up, revealing the colors of their clothes underneath. They were thrown back to their venue by the bodyguards. Yes, throw it back to the dinner venue. Such a big commotion naturally alarmed many people. Lin Momo's teeth were almost broken. So embarrassing. She screamed, and the moment she was thrown out, she grabbed the coat in her hands and covered her face with it. "At least they can't see my face, no." Chen Sherue was not so lucky. When she saw Lin Momo's reaction, she followed suit and covered her face with her hands. This behavior, like a clown, caused everyone to laugh uncontrollably. Har har har. Har har. Too funny. Is this a fun segment carefully prepared for everyone? The organizer is really thoughtful, too funny. Obviously, they were led by someone, and everyone thought this was a program specially prepared for everyone at the dinner. Some even took out their phones to take pictures. Lin Momo and Chen Sherue didn't care about shame, they covered their faces tightly, looking so embarrassed, they rolled and crawled towards the locker room outside. Har har har. Too funny. Everyone's laughter became even more joyful, and the sound reached Lin Momo's ears. She wanted to explode on the spot, and she wished she could bang her head against the wall and find a crack to crawl into. After stumbling along their way, Lin Momo and Chen Sherue finally captured the spotlight of the entire audience as they had wished. Even when they rushed into the locker room in a panic, they could still hear the lingering laughter outside. At this time, outside the corridor of the convention and exhibition center. "Why are you here?" Ning Yixia was obviously a little surprised to see the man suddenly appear. Lu Siting's dark eyes were as silent as the stars in the rainy night. He stared at her for a moment, and his deep voice quietly sneaked into her ears with the night wind, "I'm doing something nearby." "Are you hurt?" Ning Yixia shook her head. Thinking of what happened just now, she couldn't help feeling a little embarrassed and powerless. She said sadly, "I'm fine. It's just that every time you see these things, my dignity is really shattered." Lu Siting remained calm and spoke in a gentle tone. "I'm sure you can handle it." Ning Yixia turned her gaze to look at him, "Not necessarily. She has suffered too many losses over the years. No matter how powerful she is, she can't guard against the other party's endless tricks. Don't be sad, the problem can always be solved, it's just a matter of time." Seeing her starry eyes filled with helplessness and loss, Lu Siting comforted her in a formal manner. His people cannot be soft, they have to be tough. Do I look depressed? Ning Yixia asked casually. The man raised his eyebrows slightly. Ning Yixia was feeling a little upset because of what happened just now, but when she heard what he said, she felt helpless and ridiculous in her heart. She quickly turned her head away, took a deep breath, and looked outside. Next, she may have to endure a bigger storm. The Ning family will not let her go. Lin Momo and the others will try every means to put the blame on her. But even so, at least now she has vented her anger. Originally, she wanted to break up with him, but this would definitely have a certain impact on her. This man came to her rescue in time and saved her from all the trouble. Sometimes, even if I want to act on impulse, in that instant, I feel that it all seems meaningless. Ning Yixia said sadly. It's not that she doesn't want to fight back, but after all these years, she has become a little numb. It's really boring. I'm really fed up with this despicable drama. But Ning Diyuan and Ji Yuzian just happened to fall for it and were so blindly partial. Thinking of these, I felt as if I was in a long dream, unable to wake up, unable to break free from the heavy feeling of being bound. The reason why I decided to get married with this man so quickly was actually because I wanted to break free from this gloomy dream and hope to win a new life. Chapter 21. How embarrassing. Meaning is secondary, being wronged is not acceptable. The man's tone was extremely authoritative. Ning Yixia was stunned. Okay, let's go back, the event should be starting soon. Lu Siting reminded. Ning Yixia checked the time on her wrist, nodded, and then subconsciously looked at him. You're not going in. Before she finished speaking, the phone in his pocket suddenly vibrated. He took it out, took a look, and didn't answer it. Instead, he answered her, there's something else. Ning Yixia understood and didn't ask any more questions. Okay, I'll go in then. The man nodded leisurely and motioned for her to go in. Ning Yixia then turned around and walked inside. As soon as Ning Yixia disappeared, Lu Siting's deep eyes had already swept to the corner beside him, and a cold voice came over, why don't you come out? After she finished speaking, Mu Jingjing slowly walked out from the corner, looking at Lu Siting with a guilty look in her eyes. Brother, how did you find me? Mu Jingjing just saw Ning Yixia walking towards this side, and Lin Momo and the others followed her. She was worried and followed closely behind. She didn't expect to see them bullying her sister-in-law like that. She was planning to take action, but her brother acted too quickly, not giving her, the sister-in-law, any chance to show her power. Lu Shiting looked at her indifferently and said nothing. Mu Jingjing coughed lightly. I just want to see what kind of person my sister-in-law is. I don't mean to eavesdrop at all. Brother, does your sister-in-law still not know your identity? I don't think she is curious about your appearance at all. Mu Jingjing asked cautiously. Don't ask about my affairs. How can this be considered asking around? She's my sister-in-law. Of course I have to show some concern for her. She just helped me out, and I have a very good impression of her. Spend more time with Mom during your free time. Lu Siting said indifferently. Mu Jingjing shook her head. I don't want to. Mom always wants me to learn this and that. I'm not interested in managing a company. My dream is to become an international superstar. Brother, you just have to work harder. Lu Siting and Mu Jingjing have a very good relationship, but their information has been hidden. Apart from their close relationship, few people outside the circle know the details of the two siblings. After all, they have different surnames. Lu Siting took his father Lu Sinan's surname, while Mu Jingjing took her mother Mu Changning's surname. Lu Sinan is a powerful person, and Mu Changning is also a veteran in the business world and the person in charge of the Mu family. The couple are both very low-key and rarely appear in public. Everyone listens to their stories as if they were legends. Mu Jingjing is rebellious and independent. Mu Changning wants to train her to be the successor, but Mu Jingjing is determined to make her debut, which is opposed by Mu Changning. However, Mu Changning also gives her relative freedom within 3 years. Mu Jingjing can rely on her own abilities, and if she still can't make it, she will have to go back and learn how to manage a company from her. Mu Jingjing wanted to make a name for herself, so she really didn't rely on her family and started out as an extra. Now, 2 years have passed, and it will be 3 years soon, and she is still just an 18th-tier celebrity. You are quite ambitious. When Lu Siting saw her like this, he could imagine his mother's brows twisted into a knot when she talked about her. Mu Jingjing supported herself on the railing in front of her with both hands and said, of course. I just don't want my fate to be arranged. I want to do what I like and be happy. Don't play too much, come home often. As he spoke, he stretched out his big hand, patted Mu Jingjing on the head, and then walked forward. Brother, will I often go out with my sister-in-law in the future? Don't worry, I won't expose your past and will cooperate with you. Mu Jingjing looked at Lu Siting's departing figure and said, Don't take it upon yourself. After Lu Siting uttered these few words, his tall and clear figure quickly disappeared into the twilight ahead. Mu Jingjing took his words as her agreement and immediately became happy. She turned around and went back to look for Ning Yixia. Lin Momo hid in the locker room in a miserable state. But she didn't want to give up this rare opportunity. When she was about to ask her agent Lisa to send the clothes over immediately, Lisa called and told her that her show was cancelled. How is that possible? Lin Momo was shocked and said unwillingly, You don't know how long I have been fighting for this program. How can it be cancelled just like that? Did you offend someone? I've never seen anything like this before. Lisa was also confused. How is it possible? Lin Momo suddenly remembered what happened just now. Could it be Ning Yixia? Who was the person who suddenly rescued her just now? She didn't even have time to see who was coming before she was carried out. The scenes just now. Lin Momo's face was filled with shame and anger. Yes, no matter who did it, that bitch Ning Yixia would definitely file a complaint. It is very likely that she was saved by the man who came with her. It is said that he is a senior executive of the Lu Group. I guess someone like Ning Yixia can only be approached by using unspoken rules, right? It must be Ning Yixia who told this to others, so the dinner planner cancelled her program. After some analysis, Lin Momo has determined that it was Ning Yixia who was responsible. At this moment, she really hated Ning Yixia. Okay, a man of insight is a wise man. We can make plans later. Lisa is a gold medal agent who was hired by Ji Yuxian for Lin Momo with a large sum of money. She has made many people famous, and Lin Momo is quite convinced of her. But after hearing what she said, she could only give up. Ning Yixia. Ning Yixia, this bitch, I will make her pay the price. Before Lin Momo hung up the phone, Chen Sherue on the side had already started cursing in shame and anger, and secretly made up her mind to make Ning Yixia suffer 10 times the humiliation. She had never been so embarrassed in her life. How can she go out and make friends with those outstanding young men? However, this was not the end. Before the two of them could recover from their shock, there was a knock on the door. Before they could react, the door was opened. A woman in a black suit walked in with several bodyguards. That's them, send them out. As soon as the woman finished speaking, several bodyguards pulled them up. Lin Momo was shocked and stared at the woman with wide eyes. What are you doing? Let me go. What do you want to do? Chen Sherue also struggled and screamed. You are so bold as to try to disrupt the banquet. Send them out now. The woman ignored him and gave the order coldly. No. I won't leave. What are you doing? Why are you doing this to us? No matter how the two struggled and shouted, no one paid any attention. Chapter 22. Something unusual is going on? Just like that, Lin Momo and Chen Sherue were dragged out and thrown out of the entrance of the convention and exhibition center. Momo. Ji Yuxian was also beaten and thrown out with a swollen face. His pig-headed face was completely different from the handsome young man who was full of vigor and vitality just now. Seeing Lin Momo being thrown out, he immediately went forward, covered the two of them with his coat, and walked downstairs. At this time, Assistant Xu Hui and Lin Momo's agent Lisa both rushed over. Thanks to their cover, they were not captured by the media below. At this time, Mu Jingjing was standing in the corridor, watching this scene with a smile on her face. Even if Chen Sherue saw her, she was still fearless and even gave her an innocent smile in return. Chen Sherue almost bit her teeth to pieces. After the charity auction, the dinner was coming to an end. Ning Yixia said hello to Wei Chenyu and left the venue early. Hi, Miss Ning, wait for me. As Ning Yixia walked out of the banquet hall, she heard a clear voice behind her. Turning back, she found that it was the woman she met at the door just now. Ms. Ning Yixia. Hello. I didn't even say hello to you just now. My name is Mu Jingjing. Thank you for what I said just now. Mu Jingjing caught up with him, the night wind blowing up her gorgeous skirt, making her look like a noble princess who had suddenly rushed over. Ning Yixia raised her eyebrows slightly, and she remembered the scene at the banquet just now, when this girl kept staring at her, and her eyes seemed sincere and friendly. "You're welcome, Miss Mu." "Hey, then I won't be polite. I'll call you Yixia and you can call me Jingjing." Mu Jingjing didn't care about the embarrassment anymore. After all, this girl was her sister-in-law, a family member, so it was okay to get to know her better. "Ning Yixia, you just saved me, I have to thank you very much, otherwise I will buy you a midnight snack, how about that? Let's be friends, you are very suitable for my eyes." Even if they weren't sister-in-law, Mu Jingjing liked Ning Yixia very much. She had never been so enthusiastic in interacting with anyone before. In the past, others always flattered her. She didn't expect that she had learned this trick now. "Thank you for your invitation, but I'm afraid I can't accept it. She has other things to do." "It doesn't matter. If it's not possible today, then tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, the weekend should be fine, right?" "Ning Yixia, this girl seems a little too enthusiastic. Are you going back now? We're going the same way, shall I give you a ride? Your partner seems to be still inside." Seeing that Ning Yixia didn't answer, Mu Jingjing continued. Ning Yixia raised her eyebrows, looked at the girl's sparkling eyes, and couldn't help but smile. "You didn't even ask me where I was going, how did you know we were going the same way?" Mu Jingjing paused, her beautiful eyes flickered, and a brilliant smile appeared on her face. "Of course, as long as we are willing to get along, we will get along no matter what. Don't worry, I'm not a human trafficker. Although I'm an 18th tier celebrity, I also pay attention to my image. You don't have to be afraid." "An 18th tier celebrity? It seems that he is in the entertainment industry?" Ning Yixia thought about it and agreed. After a while, the two got into the car, and the car drove steadily towards the sea of cars ahead. The two of them naturally didn't know that just after their car left, a black Mercedes-Benz car parked on the side of the road behind them. "Master, it's Miss Jingjing." She pulled Madam into the car. IE stared at the car leaving in front of him and reported to the people in the back seat. Lu Sighting closed the document in his hand, raised his hand and rubbed his brow, and rebuked in a low voice, "I just hope the world will not be in chaos." Hearing this, IE immediately smiled and said, "I have never seen Miss Jingjing be so warm and friendly to anyone. Mu Jingjing has a very straightforward and frank personality. She has a clear distinction between likes and dislikes and expresses her likes and dislikes very directly, like a tomboy. She easily offends people and has few friends. Rash and reckless." Lu Sighting said indifferently. "No, Miss Jingjing knows her limits. Master, should we follow them?" "No need, go back to Maple Garden." Lu Sighting responded, and there was a hint of fatigue in his low voice. The car drove forward steadily. "Yixia, do you work for Lu Group?" Mu Jingjing looked at Ning Yixia and asked. "Yeah, several years." "Oh, then you must be very familiar with the company. I heard that Lu's company has a new president, and everyone is very curious. Can we gossip about it?" "Gossip?" Ning Yixia was stunned for a while before she smiled and said, "Our old president has retired and we have a new president, but he has not officially taken office yet, and I have never met him." Then you don't know what he looks like, and you don't know his character or reputation." Mu Jingjing immediately captured the key information. Ning Yixia doesn't he seem to know her brother well, so why are they still married? Feeling like something is a little unusual? No matter what he is like, he is my boss. He should be very capable. I heard that many decisions of the company are made by him. We are just ordinary office workers. We can't compare with the colorful entertainment industry. The entertainment industry? It's colorful, you can describe it that way, but it's definitely not easy for ordinary artists to get into it. Only a low-level artist like me can deeply understand this feeling. As an outsider, I've only heard that the entertainment industry is very treacherous. It's very deep, but if you want to debut, I guarantee that you will win many awards and become a goddess for all the people." Ning Yixia shook her head, "I don't have that ability." "How could that be?" "Just trust me, you can do it." "Just kidding, if her sister-in-law wants to make her debut, her brother will give her resources like crazy, and it won't be a problem for her to become as famous as she wants." Inside S University Hospital late at night. The doctor had just treated Ji Yuxian's wound. Everything that happened at the banquet made Ji Yuxian feel shocked, angry and unbelievable. Mr. Gu, we can't find the person who did it. Miss Lin's program was cancelled temporarily because of the temporary decision of the banquet planners. Maybe they recognized Miss Lin. Assistant Xu Hui reported to Ji Yuzian. After listening to this, Ji Yuzian's face became very solemn, and his eyes were filled with gloom, like a gathering storm. No matter what method you use, you must find that person for me. Start with Ning Yixia. That person should be someone she knows. Is he Wei Qinyu? After such humiliation, Ji Yuzian certainly would not let it go. I can't be sure. Wei Qinyu was definitely not in the banquet hall at that time. The information Xu Hui could find was very limited, and they were all very curious. Who on earth was so bold as to treat their young boss like this, and directly threw Lin Momo and Chen Xierue into the banquet hall, clearly offending 3 families at once? Chapter 23. Hello, Mr. Liu. Thinking of this, Xu Hui felt a little heavy in his heart. The other party must know the identity of their general manager Jiyu, but he is still fearless and not afraid of offending them at all. He is probably not someone who can be easily dealt with. If it was Wei Qinyu, that's a bit difficult. Upon closer thought, the person most likely to take action is Wei Qinyu, who was attending as Ning Yixia's male companion. But Wei Qinyu is a member of the Wei family. The Wei family has a close relationship with the Liu family. It is said that Wei Qinyu has a good relationship with the younger generation of the Liu family. In this case, they really don't dare to offend easily. Their general manager Ji Yu should know this, right? Ji Yuzian seemed to have reacted as well, and his expression suddenly became gloomy and ugly. Ziyang, let's just let it go. Don't blame me. If this can make her feel better, I don't mind. But you've been hurt like this, I really have the heart to do that to you. Lin Momo, who had been observing his expressions, spoke at the right time with a wry smile. The hidden grievance, helplessness and strength on the palm-sized face made Ji Yuzian feel distressed. Compared to Ning Yixia's ingratitude, coldness and boredom, Lin Momo certainly seems much more considerate. I'm fine. I'm afraid you've been wronged by the way things turned out. It's my fault that I didn't handle my relationship with her well. I thought that after a few days of calming down, she would realize her mistake, but I didn't expect her to get even worse. I'm sorry, Momo. Lin Momo shook her head and said sympathetically, it's okay for me, I'm just worried about you. Seeing her eyes red, Ji Yuzian uncontrollably reached out and hugged her in his arms, caring for her tenderly and uncontrollably. Maybe this is a good idea. Let's just talk it out now. If enduring this can allow you to stay by my side with a clear conscience, I'm willing to endure it. Brother Xian. After thinking it over again and again, Ji Yuzian decided to come clean. Anyway, things had come to this point, and he didn't have much feelings for Ning Yixia. The person he loved deeply in his heart had always been the Ning family's second young lady, Lin Momo. Lin Momo's forbearance and perseverance had long touched him. When Lin Momo was little, she wore a little white dress and followed him, affectionately calling him Brother Xian. Over the years, the memory of her has always lingered in his mind. However, Ning Yixia always seemed like a proud princess, and he was just her follower. Ning Yixia is cold, hard and independent, she doesn't need him, she can even live well without him, but Momo is fragile and sensitive, she needs him more. Thinking of this, Ji Yuzian made up his mind, as if he became relaxed. He looked at Lin Momo affectionately, held her hand tightly, and said solemnly, Momo, I actually wanted to be free for a long time. Yixia and I are not suitable. You should also feel that the person I like has always been you. I will make it clear to Yixia and my uncle to end my relationship with Yixia. Come to me, okay? Lin Momo listened and tears immediately fell. She reached out to touch the wound on Ji Yuzian's face with distressed eyes. Silly boy, Of course I am willing, but I can't do this to Yixia, she is my sister. Don't worry about that. I will compensate her. Ji Yuzian's eyes were filled with joy and he spoke quickly. Lin Momo thought for a moment before leaning towards his chest. Because it's you, I'm not afraid of bearing all that pain. You must compensate my sister, otherwise, I won't feel at ease. Good. Seeing Ji Yuzian's reaction, Lin Momo felt extremely proud. It has finally come to this. Next, she just needs to wait for Ji Yuzian to kick Ning Yixia out. She will just have to wait obediently for Ji Yuzian to make all the arrangements and take over smoothly. Ning Yixia probably didn't expect this day to come, right? What does it matter if you are high above others for all the hard work you have done? That is the fate of working hard to prepare wedding dresses for Lin Momo. Not only will she easily get rid of Ning Yixia and successfully become the mistress of the Jiyu family, she will also inherit Haixing and become the future president of Haixing. She will even wipe out everything Ning Yixia has in Hengrui and completely replace her. I don't know if today can be considered a blessing in disguise, but Ji Yuxian finally made a decision. However, this alone cannot eliminate her resentment towards Ning Yixia's actions today. She wanted to see how Ning Yixia would face the coming storm. Ning Yixia didn't take these things to heart. She got up early the next day, went to work without even having breakfast. The Lu group did not punch in for work until 9 in the morning. Ning Yixia set out for the subway station at 7, intending to get there early to finish the work that had been put aside yesterday. It is the rainy season now. It suddenly started raining in the early morning, and it is still drizzling now. Ning Yixia was walking on the sidewalk, carrying a briefcase in one hand and holding a large black umbrella in the other. The sound of her high heels stepping on the floor was cold and hurried, which was the current situation of most working people. A black car was driving steadily on the wide road. Mu Jingjing, who was sitting in the passenger seat, was also looking out the window leisurely at this time. If she remembered correctly, she dropped Ning Yixia off near here last night. She didn't know. Huh? Before she could finish her thoughts, a beautiful and slender figure came into view. She quickly said to the man in the back seat, "Brother, it's my sister-in-law. It's still early, shall we invite my sister-in-law to have breakfast together?" Lu Siting raised his eyes and saw the hurried figure on the sidewalk outside. He nodded slightly. Mu Jingjing quickly asked the driver to pull over, caught up with Ning Yixia, and lowered the window. "Yixia, get in the car." Ning Yixia was startled and immediately turned around to look. Mu Jingjing. Mu Jingjing nodded and smiled. "Yes, it's me. What a fate, I didn't expect to meet you. Hurry up and get in the car, it's going to rain heavily soon. Isn't this fate?" Before Mu Jingjing could finish her words, she had already seen the man in the back seat. Her nominal husband, Lu Siting. Noticing his gaze, Ning Yixia thought for a moment and had no choice but to bite the bullet, put away the umbrella and get in the car. The man in the back seat was concentrating on reading the documents, looking cold and noble. Ning Yixia remembered the secret marriage they had agreed to, so she didn't take the initiative to reveal it. Instead, she said politely, "Hello." Hearing this, Lu Siting was stunned, and just as he was about to hand her a tissue, he paused. Mu Jingjing was about to reveal the truth at this moment, but when she heard Ning Yixia's words, she was stunned. There was a faint light in her beautiful eyes, and she looked at Lu Siting meaningfully. Facing Lu Siting's calm eyes, she shrugged. "Hello." After a while, Lu Siting responded. Of course, Ning Yixia was also very curious about how Lu Siting and Mu Jingjing appeared together in a car. Are they lovers? Chapter 24. Acting is hard. As if he had noticed Ning Yixia's doubts, Lu Siting frowned and spoke in a low voice, but he was speaking to Mu Jingjing in front of him. "If you still can't pass it this time, hire a private tutor and try your best to pass it this time, so you can take it easy later." Upon hearing this, Mu Jingjing frowned and said, "Brother, you know I'm a poor student. Those questions are so difficult, can you blame me? Besides, diplomas are just for show nowadays. You can't expect everyone to be the same as you. Mom is really stupid. I don't rely on diplomas to make a living, why should I? Do more, complain less, and look for reasons in yourself. It's not just you who has a hard time." There was a hint of coldness in Lu Siting's deep voice, which was extremely powerful. Mu Jingjing pursed her lips and then looked at Ning Yixia. "Yixia, this is my brother, Lu Siting. He has the same last name as my father, and I have the same last name as my mother. Brother, this is Ning Yixia." Mu Jingjing introduced herself in a pretentious manner. "You are brother and sister." Ning Yixia's doubts were answered, but she still couldn't control her surprise. "Yeah, you're surprised, right? You're not the only one like this, we really are siblings," Mu Jingjing said. Lu Siting and Mu Jingjing don't look much alike. Mu Jingjing looks more like the Mu family, while Lu Siting combines all the advantages of Lu Sinan and Mu Changning, a pair of handsome men and beautiful women. "Oh, hello, Mr. Lu." Ning Yixia pretended not to know Lu Siting and greeted him. Lu Siting narrowed his deep eyes slightly and looked at her. Ning Yixia was stunned for a moment. It seemed that he was also hiding the fact of marrying her. She just needed to cooperate. As for what he told Mu Jingjing, that was his business. Lu Siting didn't intend to expose her, just to see what else she could do. Yixia, why are you here so early? Does your company work very early? Mu Jingjing looked at the two of them calmly, noticed their subtlety, and spoke immediately. No, the company clocks in at 9, so it's less crowded if you go out early. It's still early, you haven't had breakfast yet, right? Anyway, the company is not far away, how about having morning tea together? There is a tea house just in front. Ning Yixia quickly said, no need, I can just buy it at the bakery in front. Worried that if she stayed too long it would be embarrassing and reveal herself, Ning Yixia spoke immediately. What's good to eat at the bakery? It's settled, let's have morning tea together. Mu Jingjing made the decision without hesitation and glanced at Lu Siting out of the corner of her eye, as if to take credit. It must be that these two people had worked very hard in acting. Stop at the tea house ahead. Lu Siting raised his wrist to check the time, then spoke in a low voice. Not far ahead, 2 subway stations away, is a high-end tea restaurant. It is an old restaurant and is very close to the Lu group, only 4 subway stations away. The 3 of them went in and found a table by the window and sat down. Mu Jingjing asked Ning Yixia attentively about her taste when ordering. After ordering the food, Mu Jingjing went to the bathroom. Suddenly, only Lu Siting and Ning Yixia were left at the seats. Lu Siting was leaning leisurely against the back of his chair, his silent and deep eyes looking indifferently out of the glass window. His lazy and noble, delicate and handsome facial features were a visual feast to the eyes of everyone. It is undeniable that the man opposite is dignified and elegant, but even though they are now husband and wife and he has helped her several times, Ning Yixia still feels the man's coldness and alienation. Of course, this is normal. After all, they are not familiar with each other. He helps only out of consideration for their sudden change in identity. Ning Yixia was grateful to him in her heart. She had always been used to fighting alone. In the past few days, she got a little protection from him. No matter what the reason was, this was a fact. As if noticing the woman's gaze, Lu Siting turned his head to look at her. Her sight was instantly caught. Ning Yixia felt a little embarrassed and had to lower her eyes and drink a sip of tea. The man's eyes were silent, and he pursed his thin lips indifferently. After a while, he spoke in a low voice, Jingjing is straightforward, I am sorry to disturb you. Ning Yixia shook her head. No, she is a sincere and enthusiastic girl. I like her very much. I just didn't expect that you two are actually brother and sister. Lu Siting's inky eyes shone faintly, not like. Well, but you and your sister are both extremely beautiful. Your beauty is pure and natural. Ning Yixia said this very frankly, without any compliment. Lu Siting had heard many people praising his face, but she was the first one to be as pure and frank as him. Is this the first time you praise someone like this? Lu Siting's voice was filled with certainty. Ning Yixia raised her eyebrows and looked at him in surprise. I think there are few people more stunning than Miss Ning. This. Listening to this, Ning Yixia's fair face suddenly turned red, and she couldn't help feeling a little embarrassed. This man's skill in praising people was too. Can you resolve yesterday's incident? Lu Siting didn't make things difficult for her and asked calmly. Ning Yixia then recalled the scenes at yesterday's banquet, including the embarrassing things that Ji Yuxian and Lin Momo had done that she later learned from Mu Jingjing. There were also dozens of missed calls on her phone, all from Ning Duyuan, Ji Yuxian and others. After a while, Ning Yixia finally responded. It has to be resolved eventually, those people won't let it go. At this time, the waiter brought the snacks. Ning Yixia's phone vibrated. There was a WeChat message. She opened it and saw that it was a message from her good friend Meng Xiao. Yixia, did Ji Yuxian and Lin Momo make trouble again last night? The scandal has even become a hot topic, what a great achievement. Did they cause trouble for you? Do you think Ji Yuxian would be embarrassed if he knew that you were married? Ning Yixia looked at her phone, her brows slightly furrowed, and she was filled with emotion in her heart. Of course she also saw the hot topics when she woke up in the morning. The embarrassing scene of Lin Momo and Chen Sherue being thrown into the banquet hall could not be hidden from everyone, and photos of them making fools of themselves appeared on the internet early in the morning. After a while, Ning Yixia replied. I hope I don't have to weather a storm. Meng Xiao is very good friends with Ning Yixia, and she is one of the people who knows about Ning Yixia's marriage. Meng Xiao sent an eye-rolling expression. Whatever the storm, we will fight back. Seeing them get beaten, I feel great. I don't know who did it, but I really want to thank this capable person. Capable person. Ning Yixia subconsciously raised her eyes, looked at the person in front of her, and replied. My nominal husband. R? What's going on? Who is this mysterious husband of yours? When will you bring him out for everyone to see? Chapter 25. She is really my sister. Meng Xiao's curiosity was aroused. Let's talk about this later. Don't forget our secret marriage. Meng Xiao made a helpless expression. Is it okay for me to take a look from a distance? By the way, what's his name? Where does he work? What company? Meng Xiao sent a lot of questions, which made Ning Yixia feel a headache. So she didn't reply, put away her phone, and the man opposite pushed the dessert in front of him towards her. Mu Jingjing ordered desserts that girls like. It was the matcha mousse that Ning Yixia liked. Eat, no need to wait for her. Ning Yixia thought about it, then picked up the spoon without hesitation. By the way, Mr. Lu, I have already washed your clothes, as well as your cell phone. How about this? I'll give you the key to my house, it will be more convenient. She had spare keys in her office, so she just gave him a bunch of keys, which would be more convenient. As soon as she finished speaking, she took out a bunch of keys and handed them to Lu Xiting. Lu Xiting's deep gaze fell on her hand, which was still covered with a band-aid, and the corners seemed to be slightly stained with blood. Be careful with your wound. Since you're already married, there's no reason for you to separate. When do you plan to move? Lu Xiting's tone was gentle and cold, and no emotion could be heard. He reached out and took the key. It's okay. I'm almost well now. I'll probably be fine in a week or two. I just got promoted and I have a lot to do. This place is closer to the office, so it's convenient for me to work overtime. Lu Xiting sneered, is your boss trying so hard to exploit your labor? Ning Yixia quickly shook her head. No, our company has very good benefits and is very humane. It's just that I have a lot of temporary things to do and I'm a bit busy. By the way, Mr. Lu, if possible, I would like to take you to meet my grandfather later. The original reason why I impulsively got the marriage certificate with him was not only because Ji Yuxian broke his promise, but also because of the old man. Now that the marriage matter has been settled, she needs to give an explanation to the old man, so that he can be in better spirits and cooperate with the treatment. She just called the doctor and found out that the old man is still in a coma, and the coma time is getting longer and longer. This is not a good sign, and she is very worried. Now that the request has been made, I wonder if this man will agree. After all, the Ning family is quite complicated. Once he and she appeared in front of Ning Duyuan and the others, there would probably be endless troubles. She was naturally very concerned about causing trouble to the other party. Good. Without waiting for Ning Yixia to think more, Lu Xiting responded calmly. It just so happens that I also need your cooperation on something here. Need her cooperation? Ning Yixia thought about it, and Mu Jingjing's face naturally flashed through her mind. She automatically assumed that he meant for her to hide the secret from Mu Jingjing. And you? Ning Yixia was about to continue speaking when she caught sight of Mu Jingjing out of the corner of her eye. She had no choice but to lower her voice and pretend that they were strangers. Sorry, I just received a call. There's a supporting actress role that wants me to audition. We talked for a while. Mu Jingjing said apologetically as she sat down. The waiters brought the meals one after another. Mu Jingjing kept finding topics to chat with Ning Yixia, and she was in a good mood. Lu Xiting noticed that Ning Yixia mostly talked about things related to the entertainment industry, which reminded him of the entertainment section plan he saw at her house that night. She is truly a competent employee, very observant, able to keep up to date with the situation and make flexible changes, so it is no wonder she has achieved such great results in recent years. If he remembered correctly, Miss Yu was also very fond of her. She even made an exception to recruit her into Lu's company and recommended her to be his temporary secretary. It was the two of them who talked. Lu Xiting was the only one who was very quiet. He ate very little and only drank tea occasionally. Seeing that it was almost time, several people got up. The rain outside seemed to be getting heavier. At Mu Jingjing's strong request, Ning Yixia had no choice but to take their car to the company. Yixia, are you free tonight? How about having dinner together? To celebrate my audition. The car stopped at the side road of Lu Group, and Mu Jingjing asked. Probably not. I have a dinner date with a client tonight. Hearing this, Mu Jingjing was a little disappointed. Okay, let's make an appointment next time. Oh, let's add each other on WeChat. Having said that, he took out his cell phone without hesitation. Ning Yixia had no choice but to take out her cell phone. Oh, my phone is out of battery, brother, give me your phone and add it first, I'll add it when I get back. Mu Jingjing suddenly said this while reaching out to take the phone that Lu Siting was holding. She actually wanted to use this to expose their relationship. But. She actually discovered that there was no Ning Yixia's WeChat in her brother's WeChat. This is too weird. Aren't these two married? Why don't the couple have each other's WeChat? This is so abnormal. Although we know from the investigation results that the two of them got married because they were stood up by each other, but. Mu Jingjing secretly looked at the two of them, her eyes swept across Ning Yixia's slightly stiff face, and stopped at her brother's handsome face that was still calm, but she found that her brother's ink-black eyes were silent. She was worried about the two of them. It seemed like this was just a hastily arranged marriage. After a while, Mu Jingjing coughed lightly and added Ning Yixia's WeChat first. Yes, please approve it. I will add you when I get back. Remember to approve it then. Ning Yixia could only nod reluctantly, looked at Lu Siting's WeChat account application, and clicked to approve it. Lu Siting's WeChat ID is very simple, just a casual photo of the sunset scenery, and his WeChat name is simply the 3 words, Lu Siting. After Ning Yixia finished adding, she subconsciously glanced at Lu Siting. Seeing this man who was still taciturn but had a strong aura that could not be ignored, she couldn't help but take a breath. Thank you, Jingjing, and Mr. Lu. I'll treat you to dinner someday when you're all free. Ning Yixia said politely. No need to reschedule, we can make an appointment these 2 days if we have time. There was a faint light flashing in Mu Jingjing's beautiful eyes, and she quickly spoke playfully. Ning Yixia. Okay, wait until I go up and check the time. Okay, you can set a time and talk to my brother first. Ning Yixia got out of the car with an almost stiff smile. If she stayed any longer, she was really afraid that she would be exposed. Lu Siting glanced at his phone. Mu Jingjing was still fiddling with his phone. His eyes stopped at the screen. She really is his biological sister. Seeing that her note to Ning Yixia was, Dear wife. What the hell is this? What remarks? Messing around. Lu Siting's eyebrows were almost wrinkled into a ball. Chapter 26 Are you really my brother? Seeing Ning Yixia disappearing at the majestic entrance of Lu Group with an umbrella, Mu Jingjing breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at the skyscrapers rising into the clouds in front of her, she sighed, Hey, I haven't been here for a long time. I didn't expect this company to be so big and spectacular. Lu Siting frowned slightly, glanced at her, and spoke in a low, cold voice. Persisting in meaningless efforts is a waste of life. If you really want to realize your dream, it is not impossible. The resources of Lu's entertainment sector are no worse than those of other companies. You can consider coming back. Lu Siting also didn't want to see Mu Jingjing begging others for a small supporting role. She could have had better resources, but she chose not to use them. This was not being strong and independent, but being stupid. Sure enough, the fool Mu Jingjing refused immediately. I don't want it, I want to rely on my own efforts. It's up to you. I plan to let Ning Yixia do this project. Lu Siting said lightly, lowering his eyes to look through the documents. My sister-in-law is in charge. Mu Jingjing's beautiful eyes flickered. Then. I can think about it. Oh, by the way, brother, why don't you have sister-in-law's WeChat? Aren't you husband and wife? Why do you seem so polite and unfamiliar? I was a little worried about sister-in-law just now. She obviously wants to hide her relationship with you. Don't meddle in my business. Lu Siting had no intention of explaining anything. What do you mean by meddling? If you weren't my brother, I wouldn't bother worrying about it. Don't worry, I like my sister-in-law very much anyway, and I really want to be friends with her. Didn't you always want me to make some friends with strong abilities and good character? By the way, why doesn't your sister-in-law live with you? Also, when are you going to tell your parents? Mu Jingjing started bombarding Lu Xiting with a series of questions. Lu Xiting remained silent and selectively deaf. Seeing that she couldn't get anything out of Lu Xiting, Mu Jingjing had to give up. Suddenly she thought of something and looked at Lu Xiting and said, "Brother, can you pick up Xiao Cheng tomorrow? I had originally agreed to do it, but he suddenly said he had to go for an audition." Thinking of her nephew He Wei Cheng, Mu Jingjing couldn't help but feel helpless and worried. He is definitely a little devil. My brother-in-law has to go on a mission recently. You know the temper of the little devil. No one can control him. He is spoiled by his grandparents. My brother-in-law is worried about letting them take care of him. Mu Jingjing sighed and looked at her brother. Besides, he got into a fight at school not long ago and seriously injured someone who was hospitalized. The school asked him to stay home and reflect on his actions for a while. Brother-in-law couldn't do anything about it. The little devil is a little afraid of you now, so we want to send him back for a while so that we can help discipline him. Dad is currently in the Northwest conducting a joint exercise, and Mom is also out of the country discussing a project. Grandpa is not feeling well, and the old lady has to take care of him, so both of them are busy. So, I'll have to trouble you to take care of me during this period. Doesn't my brother-in-law discipline me personally? Lu Xiting frowned. He remembered that he had contacted some experienced tutors and psychological counselors before, but was there no effect? Mu Jingjing sighed, a trace of melancholy on her face. My brother-in-law went on a mission a while ago, and Xiao Cheng was left at home with his grandparents. He became even more lawless, and all those carefully selected teachers were scared away by him. Mom was a little worried about the child, so she asked my brother-in-law to send the child back. There was a hint of coldness in Lu Xiting's eyes, and he said coldly, He Huaijin can't be unable to arrange even this little thing. Although he knew that the situation at the He family was complicated, He Huaijin would not be so incapable of failing to take good care of and discipline his own son. Perhaps someone did it intentionally to remove He Huaijin's favor. Since her elder sister Lu Manqi went on a mission in the past 2 years, it has been difficult to communicate sometimes, let alone come back easily, so she can only ask the family to take care of him more. He Wei Cheng is her only child, so Lu Xiting naturally cannot ignore him. Mu Jingjing shrugged and said helplessly, It's not my brother-in-law's fault. He's alone and can't take care of everything. Let him stay with me for now. Lu Xiting lowered his eyes and didn't want to blame anyone. For the moment, he should think of a way to take care of the child first. Okay, then I'll trouble you to answer it. Aren't you going in? Mu Jingjing looked at Lu Xiting in surprise. Take a taxi in front. I have something else to do. Didn't you say it was for me? There was surprise in Mu Jingjing's eyes. Now that her sister-in-law had been sent to the company, did that mean she, the younger sister, was no longer important? Lu Xiting looked indifferent. You have delayed the time for me to send you. Hearing this, Mu Jingjing's eyes widened. Are you really my brother? Ning Yixia was busy the whole day and didn't pay much attention to the plight of Ji Yuxian, Lin Momo and others. She didn't answer any calls from unfamiliar numbers or from the Ning and Ji Yu families. If these people really cared about her, they would have called to show their concern when she and Ji Yuxian were unable to get their marriage certificate. But at that time, they didn't call even once. Inside the president's office of Haixing Media, Ning Diyuan slammed the phone in frustration, his face flushed with anger. This evil creature is lawless. Does she still see me as her father? Ning Yixia didn't answer the phone again, which greatly angered Ning Diyuan. When what happened last night was revealed on the hot searches in the morning, he was shocked. Of course he recognized it was Lin Momo. When Chen Sherue and Lin Momo came back and told him what happened, he realized that it was Ning Yixia who deliberately wanted to embarrass Lin Momo, and did not consider the overall situation at all, and did not even take Haixing seriously. Okay, don't get so angry that it makes you sick. I understand that the child is angry. After all, her marriage with Ziyang didn't work out, and she is upset. A gleam of light flashed in Lin Han's eyes, and he poured a glass of water for Ning Diyuan. Yeah, Dad, don't blame my sister. After all, I was also inconsiderate about this matter. Lin Momo also advised. Don't you realize that she is deliberately challenging me? She either ignores me or doesn't answer the phone. What does she want to do? It's her own fault. The Ji Yu family doesn't accept her. Ziyang's heart is not on her. Who can she blame? Isn't it herself? Hey, don't blame the child yet. Let's think of a way to solve the current problem first. We had originally agreed on the clothing and accessories from the sponsor at the banquet. Now that we are not going on stage, we can only treat it as a breach of contract. The other party has asked us to compensate for the losses. Lin Han frowned, a hint of worry on her still charming face. Also, the deals we had agreed to make with the partners who were waiting to see what was going on may now fall through. Haixing has been dealing with a lot of things lately, so we should find a way to resolve them as soon as possible. The second young master of the Zheng family is still holding on tightly. Thinking of these things, Ning Yixia became even more furious. Chapter 27 Top-notch green tea. They were all minor problems, but Ning Yixia made them worse. He refused to attend the Zheng family's cocktail party yesterday and preferred to go to the charity night under the unspoken rules, which made him lose face in front of the Zheng family yesterday. It's just a meal and a change of clothes, what's so difficult about it? Originally, I wanted to take advantage of this cocktail party to recommend her to Zheng Wensong. If he was attracted to her and the marriage became a reality, it would be a great thing for their Ning family. Moreover, she became the second wife of the Zheng family. She would enjoy endless wealth and glory in her life. Isn't it better than being a small clerk? How many women are trying so hard to get into a wealthy family like the Zheng family? But not only did she not appreciate it, she was so narrow-minded that Haixing was greatly affected, and Momo even missed a good opportunity because of this incident. This idiot who is always causing trouble but can't do anything good. It's simply a curse. Seeing Ning Yixua's fury, Lin Momo laughed secretly in her heart. This time, she wanted to see how Ning Yixia would step down. The PR department has tried its best to suppress the heat. Momo, you should release the news of the body double as soon as possible, at least clear yourself of it. In addition, the company has recently received that reality show life experience program. Momo, you should take it first and use the other guests to hype it up. Lin Han is worthy of being in the entertainment industry, and he handled the matter quickly and promptly. Lin Momo nodded, okay, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, for making you worry about me. I didn't know my sister was so angry, otherwise, I wouldn't. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. Just do what your mother says. Well, don't worry. Lisa has also dealt with it in time, and the trending search has stopped now. By the way, Mom and Dad, are you free these 2 days? Xian said he has something he wants to discuss with you. After Lin Momo finished speaking, Lin Han's eyes paused, as if he realized something, and then looked at Ning Yixia. Ning Yixia was stunned, but when he saw the faint blush on Lin Momo's face, he knew what was going on. He did not feel sorry for Ning Yixia losing this marriage. Ning Yixia had a bad reputation and was sent to the police station. If it were not for the old man's protection, she would probably not have been able to escape. Although the Gu family couldn't say anything, they were quite dissatisfied in private and had long since stopped wanting her to be their daughter-in-law. Moreover, Gu Xian had never paid attention to Ning Yixia and was more considerate of Momo. This is good. If Momo marries him, not only will the marriage with the Gu family be preserved, but it will also be more beneficial to the development of Haixing. As for Ning Yixia, she is just an ordinary employee. Ning Yixia certainly knows how to make a choice. Okay, let's find an opportunity for the elders of both sides to meet and have a meal. Ning Yixia said. Lin Momo nodded obediently. I hope Uncle Jiu and the others won't be angry about this incident. Ziyang was seriously injured. In order to protect his sister, he didn't dare to be hospitalized and kept it a secret from uncle and aunt. But Xu Hui has just told them everything. After Lin Momo said this, Ning Yixua's face immediately became gloomy, and he said in a cold voice, Xiao Han, let's postpone the evening dinner. Come with me to see what kind of trouble that a Vildor can make. Lin Han's eyes flickered for a moment, then he nodded, all right, stop calling him a jerk all the time. He's your child after all, don't be too harsh on him. You spoke for her, but she didn't take you seriously at all. Ning Yixia said in a deep voice. I'm just doing my duty. As for her attitude, that's her freedom. Lin Han is truly a top-notch green tea character. Even Lin Momo has to admire her mother's acting skills. Ning Yixia didn't return home until after 10 o'clock in the evening, smelling slightly of alcohol. I was entertaining a client and couldn't refuse, so I had a drink. But it's much better than when I was at Hengrui. At first, for the sake of business, she drank so much that her stomach couldn't take it and she had to be hospitalized, but Ji Yuxian took Lin Momo to attend banquets everywhere to witness the so-called glorious moments. Thinking about it now, I really blame myself for being stupid. I easily believed that Ji Yuxian would be able to see my efforts and would not let her down. The greater the expectations, the harder the slap in the face will be. As soon as I entered the door, before I could put away the key, I heard a noise and keenly felt that something was hitting me. Bang! There was a sound of glass breaking. The incident happened suddenly, and even though Ning Yixia moved quickly, she still couldn't dodge. The splashing tea was somewhat scalding hot, and she subconsciously raised her arm to cover herself, but was drenched directly, and the cup hit the back of her hand heavily. Ning Yixia couldn't bear the severe pain and burning sensation and took a few steps back. "You evil creature, you still remember to come back." What followed was Ning Diyuan's cold and angry voice. Ning Yixia was shocked and looked up, only to find that Ning Diyuan, with an angry face, was sitting at the stone table in front of her, while Lin Han was making tea and looking at her. Seeing this, Lin Han hurried forward and asked with concern, "I told you not to get excited. What if the child gets hurt?" "Yixia, you're back? Are you okay? Are you okay?" Lin Han was wearing a peacock blue ethnic-style long dress, and her long hair was tied up with a hairpin. She looked elegant and gentle. On her white and slender wrists, she wore a crystal-clear jade bracelet, and around her neck was a simple but precious necklace, which gave her the charm of a classical beauty. She is over 50 years old, but now she looks like she is only 30. She is well maintained. She is worthy of being the one that Ning Diyuan holds in his heart. But such a hypocritical look really made Ning Yixia sick. These two people had been secretly doing this for a long time, but they disguised themselves as good people and deceived her mother. Ning Yixia looked at the two of them coldly. Of course she knew why they came. He just wanted to seek justice for Lin Momo and put the blame for damaging Haisheng on her. Is it disappointing that I didn't get scolded or crushed to death? What are you doing here? Who let you in? Ning Yixia didn't know how Ning Diyuan got in, but she should change the locks anyway. Evil creature. What's your attitude? Ning Diyuan's anger did not make Ning Yixia feel the slightest bit of fear. She has gotten used to it over the years. You came to my house in the middle of the night, beat me and scolded me. What's your attitude? If you know what's best for you, put down your keys and leave immediately. Otherwise, I will call the police and sue you for trespassing. You bastard, you dare to threaten me, persecute your own sister, and damage Haisheng's reputation. You are so vicious. How could I raise someone like you? You don't answer my phone calls or reply to my messages. As a father, I can't control you anymore. Go apologize to the Jiyu family right now, and apologize to your sister. Ning Diyuan was so furious that his blood pressure was soaring. Ning Yixia sneered disdainfully, "So you're putting the blame on me." She guessed it. Chapter 28. You want me to take the blame? No way. Isn't Lin Momo so injured that she can't even attend the cocktail party? It seems that she put a lot of effort into making you come to me in such a threatening manner to settle the score. Ning Yixia exposed it coldly, but Ning Diyuan chose to ignore it. For Haisheng, she attended the event despite her injuries, but she never expected to meet a vicious person like you. Lin Momo asked someone to strip me of my clothes right there. Why didn't you say a word for me? Not only did you steal my fiancé, you also stole my clothes. Now you want me to take the blame. Are you my biological father? Why did you turn a blind eye to all this? Ning Yixia's questioning made Ning Diyuan slightly stunned, and then he said in a cold voice, "If I had known that you, this evil creature, would do so many rebellious things, I should have strangled you to death directly." Treason? Don't forget that I have contributed a lot to Haisheng's success. I am even more of a contributor to Hengrui. Without me and my mother, would you have the luxury of living today? Shut up. Ning Diyuan hated Ning Yixia for mentioning these things the most. Her domineering attitude was just like her mother Jiyu Yunji, always high and mighty, like a queen, and he was just a small follower. It seems like we have to rely on them to survive. It seems that going in once still didn't make you realize your mistake. This cruel and savage nature hasn't subsided at all, and you can't reflect on your mistakes at all. Ning Yixia raised her eyebrows and sneered. Of course I reflect on my mistakes. My biggest mistake was to wrong myself and fatten up people like you who are ungrateful for your kindness. You're trying every possible way to make me take the blame and put all those hats on me. No way. A stupid father like you doesn't know how to reflect on yourself, so what do I need to reflect on? If they had looked deeper into that incident, they would have quickly discovered the flaws. However, for the sake of Lin Momo, these people simply pushed her out without caring about her life or death at all. These people didn't even care how she was bullied in there. Lin Han and Lin Momo, mother and daughter, even wanted her to die in there. Unexpectedly, she managed to turn the game around later. She really doubted whether she was Ning Diyuan's biological daughter, but the medical examination report that came back confirmed that she and Ning Diyuan were the biological father and daughter. Over the years, if it weren't for her grandfather at home, she would have wanted to crush the Ning family to pieces. However, these people thought she was easy to manipulate and tried their best to squeeze value from her. Evil creature, I will beat you to death today. Ning Diyuan was so angry that his blood pressure soared and he could hardly breathe. He picked up the teapot and was about to smash it, but was stopped by Lin Han. Ning Yixia was not afraid at all. She didn't want to face these biased and blind people. Anyway, no matter what she said, it was meaningless. She simply took out her cell phone and made a call. Hello. 110. This is number 117, Nanxiang Old Street. Someone broke into a private house. Before Ning Yixia could finish her words, Ning Diyuan rushed over, grabbed Ning Yixia's phone with one hand and smashed it into a corner. You beast, I'm your father, and you still dare to treat me like this? I'm going to beat you to death today, otherwise people will think that my Ning family raised someone like you who has no conscience and no manners. A hint of cruelty appeared in Ning Yixia's eyes. She grabbed Ning Diyuan's hand with such force that Ning Diyuan felt a pain. Do you think I'm still that weak little girl who can be bullied by you? I'll give you face and call you dad. If I don't give you face, we'll both be in trouble. You. Ning Diyuan was so angry that his face turned red. He covered his chest with his hands and almost choked. Brother Yuan. Lin Han was also worried about something happening, so she hurried over and held Ning Diyuan. Yixia, your father has high blood pressure. Why don't you rush him to the hospital? Otherwise, you'll ruin your image as a good wife. Ning Yixia said sarcastically. How could you become like this? Lin Han looked at Ning Yixia with disappointment, but his eyes could not hide the disgust. He didn't expect that Ning Diyuan's fighting ability was so weak and he had no way to deal with this little bitch. It seems that we have to wait for the old lady to come back. With her skills, it is not impossible for her to tear this little bitch apart, just like she tore Ji Yunji apart back then. Thinking of Ji Yunji, Lin Han couldn't hide her jealousy in her heart, but when she saw Ning Diyuan, who was now devoted to her both physically and mentally, she felt relieved. She is a lady of extraordinary beauty, so what can she do? People who are too proud are destined to fall easily. Why don't you get out of here? Ning Yixia's voice was icy cold. How dare you treat your father like this? Roll. Lin Han gritted her teeth secretly and could only help Ning Diyuan leave. Hearing the footsteps fading away, Ning Yixia's tense body suddenly seemed to lose all its strength. She collapsed and unconsciously took a few steps back, about to bump into the door handle. At this moment, a big hand quickly grabbed her shoulder and helped her steady herself. Madam, are you okay? It was Ai's voice. When Ning Yixia turned her head, Ai's handsome face also came into view. Ning Yixia quickly stood up, broke free from his support, and shook her head. It's okay. The master asked me to bring you some midnight snacks. As he spoke, Ai lifted the lunchbox in his hand and his eyes fell on her wet arms. Even though the light was dim, he could still feel the residual temperature on her clothes. He guessed that the cup of tea was quite warm. Looking at the mess on the ground, it is not difficult to imagine what happened just now. Thank you. Please go in first. Ning Yixia took a breath and walked inside. The tea was very hot, and the back of Ning Yixia's hand turned red from being scalded. Ai found an ice pack in the refrigerator and wrapped it in a towel and applied it to her. This is Mr. Lu's stuff. Tell him thank you for me. Ning Yixia said gratefully and took the paper bag next to the sofa. Inside was the suit jacket she had dry cleaned, wrapped in a dust bag. Lu Sighting's cell phone was also wiped clean and placed in a transparent bag inside the paper bag. She has always been meticulous in her work, very capable, clear and organized, even Ai feels clean and comfortable. Young madam, please hand it over to the young master yourself. You are busy with socializing and I am afraid that you will not be able to eat in time, which is not good for your stomach. So, drink some porridge. This is the young master's special order. Eat some so that I can go back and report. Ai said as he took out the porridge and the exquisite snacks from the lunch box. Then he stood aside and looked at her. It seemed that he wanted to watch her eat before he was willing to go back and report. Ning Yixia had no choice but to eat a few bites. Only then did Ai leave with satisfaction. Chapter 29, got slapped in the face again. Late at night, in the luxurious and elegant study on the second floor of Peninsular Villa, Ai was reporting to Lu Sighting respectfully. Of course, he did not forget to report everything he saw to Lu Sighting. Lu Sighting was standing in front of the floor-to-ceiling window at this time. The wind and rain outside were still cold and chilly. His dignified and tall figure fell on the glass window in front of him, making him look even more noble and cold. Does anyone from the Ning family dare to attack her? After Ai's voice fell, Lu Sighting's low voice slowly sounded for a while, with a hint of coldness. Hearing it, Ai trembled slightly and couldn't help but tense his body. Yes, it was Ning Diyuan who took the initiative. They obviously only regarded Miss Ning as a tool to make money. Moreover, the Ning family and the Gu family almost blocked Miss Ning from any planned decision-making. They would only look for Miss Ning when they needed her. Moreover, Miss Ning's reputation is not very good. Ai did not continue because he had already seen the strange and unpredictable coldness in his young master's wise eyes. He doesn't need to say anything more, the young master will make his own decision. Over the years, they have seen too many times that the young master was in charge of the overall situation and his mighty power was awe-inspiring. No matter when, as long as the young master wanted to do something or see something, he would get what he wanted, so they, as his subordinates, did not need to make any decisions. I believe that the same applies to women. Although this marriage was sudden, the fact that the young master was willing to put so much thought into it was enough to prove that Miss Ning was definitely their mistress. Others all say that the young master is cold and heartless, but few people know that once the young master makes up his mind, it is difficult to change it. Therefore, no matter whether the young master likes Miss Ning or not, it does not affect the young master's obligation and responsibility to protect Miss Ning. In other words, the young master may not have love for Miss Ning, but he will definitely give Miss Ning the dignity and confidence as the wife of Mr. Lu. It is precisely because of this that Ai respects Ning Yixia even more and has already regarded her as his own mistress. Sure enough, before he could finish his thought, his master had already issued an order: don't let me see any negative information about her appearing on the trending searches. Since they are selectively closing their eyes and ears, then let's restore the truth to them. The meaning of Lu Sighting's words is very clear. Their young master wanted to expose Ji Yuxian and Lin Momo, so as to prevent them from forcibly putting the blame on their young mistress. Then should we deal with it directly? No need, let her handle her own affairs. He didn't want to get involved in her grudges, nor did he have any interest in them. He just played his role as a husband and did what he was supposed to do. He didn't want to care about anything else. He has no interest in the love and grudges between young people. Women can only affect the speed at which he makes money, but if a woman bullies him, it's like a slap in his face, and he has to hit her back. Yes. So, in the early morning of that day, several authoritative media people were secretly interviewed, and the next morning, the news about Hengrui President Ji Yuxian and supermodel Lin Momo almost became a hot search. When I clicked on the first few posts, I saw that they were all videos or photos of Ji Yuxian and Lin Momo going out together intimately, and there were even scenes of them dating in the middle of the night. From these clips, it's hard not to suspect that they are a couple. There are also high-definition photos of Lin Momo and Chen Xiarui making a fool of themselves at the banquet, as well as a complete video. With just this one scene, it was all in vain for the stand INS that Lin Momo and the others had arranged before to direct the attention to the stand INS. What's even more hateful is that when they were interviewed by the media yesterday, they insisted that they were stand INS, not themselves. This way, he was slapped in the face even more. This wave of operations caught Ji Yuxian and Lin Momo off guard. Inside the office of Hengrui's president, Ji Yuxian looked at the trending searches, and his still bruised face looked even uglier. What's going on? Are the people in the PR department useless? Why are they allowing this news to gain popularity? Xu Hui felt uneasy when he heard the cold tone. The PR department has been trying to find a solution, but the news came from several authoritative media outlets. No matter what we did, they refused to reveal the source of the news. We have no idea who spread the news. And there is no way to reduce the heat. Xu Hui was also having a headache. He noticed the news as soon as it became a hot topic, but no matter how hard he tried, he still couldn't remove it, and he didn't even know who his opponent was. Investigate. No matter what method is used, the person must be found for me. Ji Yuxian was furious. Although he decided to make his relationship with Momo public, he has not made any arrangements yet. Once the news comes out, Momo will immediately be accused of being the third party. This had a huge impact on Momo, and it also had a significant impact on him and Hengrui. Originally, Ji Yuxian had planned to break up this relationship, convince Ning Yixia, and give Ning Yixia enough compensation. Under the persuasion of their elders, both parties announced that they each loved someone and broke up peacefully. Then after a while, with the help of both parents, he fulfilled his promise to the Ning family and married Lin Momo instead. In this way, Momo won't have to bear the stigma of being a third party, and he and the Jiyu family can also maintain their good image of keeping their promises. This is the perfect solution. But now, Xu Hui had no choice but to agree. At this time, Lin Momo also called. Brother Xian, what's going on with those news on the trending searches? Did you let them make it public? Lin Momo's tone was filled with restrained anxiety and panic. A large group of entertainment paparazzi were already blocking the downstairs of Haixing Media. The simple, lovely, sweet little diva persona that she had worked so hard to build was about to collapse. She thought the news was released by Ji Yuxian. After all, Ji Yuxian had said before that he wanted to make their relationship public so that she could stand by his side in a normal capacity. Why would I do something so brainless? Don't worry Momo, I'll take care of it. Ji Yuxian is a little overwhelmed now and hasn't figured out how to solve the problem, but of course he still cares about his sweetheart's feelings and coaxes her patiently. Who spread this news? We obviously didn't. My parents went to look for my sister yesterday. My father was so angry at my sister that he had high blood pressure and almost went to the hospital. I'm really worried. If he sees this, he'll be worried. What should I do? Lin Momo said worriedly. When Lin Momo said this, Ji Yuxian's eyes suddenly darkened. What did you say? Uncle and aunt went to see Yixia yesterday. Well, she hasn't been home for a while, so mom and dad are a little worried, so they went to check on her. But, you know, my sister's obsession is too deep. Lin Momo sighed helplessly.